Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Game 3 of the World Series. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Fox Watch Party. I'm Nick Swisher. I got my man Ben Verlander, as well as Rick Ankiel. I'm sure if you're a Los Angeles Dodgers fan, you feel real good about that JT home run right there. And I'm telling you, we got a great pitching matchup today. Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler. Ben, give us a little more information on that.
Dude, Swish, I think of all the matchups that we've had in this series so far and all of them to come, I think Buehler and Morton is my favorite one, to be honest. I think this is an incredible pitching matchup. We got Walker Buehler taking the mound right now for the bottom of the first inning. Buehler has the third lowest opponent batting average in history through the first 10 starts in the postseason. Incredible. And we all know he's got the tightest pants in the game. Tightest pants in the game.
No doubt.
I am pumped up for this matchup. Rick, what do you got? What do you got for this game? What do you got in this pitching matchup? I'm pumped, man.
I think you nailed it. I couldn't agree more. Listen, Walker Buehler, and then you got Charlie Morton. I think when you're the Tampa Bay Rays and you have the momentum on your side, especially from winning last night, and then you look and say, hey, we got Charlie Morton going tonight. For me, that's almost a must win. And I say that because I think the Dodgers are the only team in this game that can afford to lose tonight and still come back and win the series. With Justin Turner coming out, listen, Morton looked great, right? Came in, dealt the first two hitters, and all of a sudden he makes one pitch that ends up middle, hangs the slider. JT takes him to the trees. Listen, it's just going to be a good game, but I'm with you. Great matchup. Like I said, I think the Rays have to win this game. I think the Dodgers could float this game and still pull off the series. Nick, how about you?
Yeah, well, you saw, right there, whoever wins Game 3 wins 68% of the time, right? That's pretty good numbers. Obviously, this is a huge pivotal game. But I think, like you said, Ben, this is my favorite matchup so far this postseason. It's funny, we have aces going up against aces, but tonight, I'm telling you, the way Charlie Morton has been in his postseason career, 7-0, I think, over his last 9 starts. Walker Buehler has been absolutely tremendous this year. Man, I'm telling you, if there is any differential tonight, I think that, Walker Buehler got 5 full days of rest, right? Last time he pitched in the white pants, tonight he's pitching in the gray pants, bro. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he got clipped there in the first by Justin Turner, but coming into tonight in this postseason, Charlie Morton, 3 starts, 3-0, has given up 1 earned run total.
I know.
A .57 ERA. So I'm pumped for this matchup, guys.
I think you nailed it. Listen, what a fun matchup. Listen, I was listening to Matt Kemp talk today on MLB Network, right? And he was talking about Walker Buehler. And he was talking about how good his fastball was. And it kind of surprised me just because, listen, I've seen his stuff. Don't get me wrong. I know he throws it in the mid-90s. But Matt Kemp, an established hitter who you've seen hit bomb after bomb, he can hit multiple people, talk about, hey, man, this guy's fastball is his best pitch. So I think that's something to pay attention to tonight to see how well he commands that fastball, because every other pitch will work off of what he does with that command.
Right. Well, also, too, remember, he had the blister issue, right? And they were taping his fingers up. They were talking about, maybe he wasn't throwing his cutter as much. Maybe he wasn't throwing his slider as much. He's still got that big breaking ball that he needs to mix in right there. But, obviously, if that fastball keeps coming off both the fingers the same way and feels good and he can locate it, bro, he's going to be sticking with that fastball.
Yep. And that homer from Justin Turner in the top of the first, his 11th career postseason homer, tying him with Duke Snider for most in Dodgers history. Dude, when you start talking Dodgers history, most in Dodgers history, that's like talking like Yankees history. That's a deep history there.
Yeah, no doubt. Think about that. Just think of all the records that are almost being broken. Corey Seager with all the records he's been breaking. Yep. Breaking Dodger records, shortstop records. All of that stuff. This is one of those postseasons, right, where it's really, really exciting. We got fans back in the stands again. So to be able to see all this, to see these records being tied and broken, I think this is so awesome for the game. But, at the end of the day, you got to try and win the ball game, and that's exactly what these teams are trying to do.
Yep.
These two, really good starting pitchers. Question for you guys. What do you think tonight's final score is in the 5th inning and then as they move on?
I think it's – go ahead, Ben.
So a score after the 5th inning and then a final score?
Yep.
I got the score after the 5th being 3-1, I'm going to say. And then the final score being, once you get to the Rays pen, I'm going to say the final score of this game is 4-3.
Ooh. I think it's going to be 1-1 in the 5th, and I think it's going to end 2-1.
Oh.
Hey, by the way, man, I was way off. I was way off on Game 2, bro. I'm hoping I'm a little better on this. I feel like the way Ground Chuck's throwing the ball, Walker seems like he's got a really good grip on this, bottom of the first inning. I think, man, it's just like it's tough scoring runs and stringing together 2 and 3 hits against these awesome pitchers. I'm telling you, it's going to be solo bombs, right? I mean, somebody's got to run into one just like JT did, because these guys just don't make mistakes. And if they do make a mistake, they don't compound the problem, right? They make a mistake, they move on, they get to the next batter. So I think for me, I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game tonight, and then maybe somebody might score something in the 8th or the 9th.
So you say somebody, you say 2-1. You got a prediction on who, or you're just saying
2-1 Dodgers. 2-1 Dodgers.
2-1 Dodgers.
2-1 Dodgers. Yep.
All right.
I mean, I got the Dodgers in 6, bro. Right? You know what I mean?
I know. I got the Rays in 6. I need this one, and this goes back to a point.
Hey, this is big, bro.
Rick said this a little while ago, and I was actually thinking about this earlier today. I think the Rays need this one. I think the Rays need this. I don't think the Dodgers need this one. I think the Rays need this one. But Walker Buehler just absolutely shutting them down there in the first. I mean, filthy.
Oh, yeah, bro. Just like fastballs, too, bro. Just cheese coming at you, man. He's just one of those guys that, it's like we always talk about. You got to be able to establish the fastball. Everything kind of works off of that. But I think that's exactly the type of first inning that was to be expected. Somebody ran into one for a homer. But you're not going to see guys stringing together big hits. I think the thing that Walker Buehler really has to pay attention to is his walks. He's got to keep his walks down, keep that pitch count low. Because, Rick, we were talking about it. The Rays with Charlie Morton, they keep him to around 80, 90 pitches. Hey, there's my boy Tino. Tino's back in the house, y'all. Look at that, man. He got his shirt on, bro. He's handsome, dude. Do it, kid. What's going on, T?
Listen, my key to the game is how far can Charlie Morton go in this game? And it was the same as last night, but that's just because the Rays are built on pitching and defense. And for me, it is all about that, right? If the Dodgers can touch up Charlie Morton and get him out early and see that bullpen quickly, if I start to look at this series and I look at Game 5 and Game 6 and Game 7, and now that the Dodgers get a chance to see that bullpen a little bit more, it just works in their favor from a hitter standpoint.
Hey, first of all, Tino, tell us how it was, bro. How was the function, bro? The wedding was great. Oh, you're muted. You got to unmute it. There he goes. He's in. He's back.
One tomorrow night to go to. So that was a little, what do you call it? The rehearsal dinner type party.
Dinner tonight?
There, so I just got back. I apologize for being late here. But listen to Rick Ankiel and vice versa. If the Rays get to Walker Buehler early and get to their bullpen, it's the same situation. So it goes both ways.
Dude, Tino, your lighting looks awesome tonight, dude. This is big time.
Got me a halo light. I told my daughter, what is a halo light? What is a halo light? What is it online?
See, Tino, that's why you have good people in your life, bro. Let's go, Tino. So proud of you, buddy. I'm so proud of you, man.
I'm learning.
Yeah, everybody's kind of got a little different Zoom setups tonight. You know what I'm saying? Rick, where are you? Did you change rooms tonight?
I did, actually. I'm down. So I had to come. I'm at an event myself. I'm down in Isla Mirada at a hotel. And just up, and here we go. So I got a different background.
Yeah, man. Me too, bro.
Chica Lodge down there, the Chica Lodge?
Say that again? Sorry.
Chica Lodge?
No, we're at La Cienta.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's a dinner down somewhere, wherever there's, I'm not familiar with down here too much, but I'm not there. I was like, hey, I got to do the game. I'll meet up with you guys after, man. I want to have on.
Guys, look at this stat. Look at this stat that just popped up. Rick Ankiel, only player other than Babe Ruth to start a game and to play a hit. I think it said hit a home run in the outfield. I mean, Rick, what you got on that? Only player other than Babe Ruth.
Hey, when you can hear your name in that kind of company, that's a big.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I hate that popping up. That's fun. It's a cool thing to be able to say about yourself.
Yeah.
Bro, hey, what about that dirty stash you had rocking right there, bro? You had that caterpillar in that picture, bro. We bring that picture back up, maybe?
That's what you call a slump. You know that. If I had that means I didn't hit for a whole 3 weeks.
Look at that thing, bro. Look at that thing.
Wow.
That's firm, bro. Because, look at you now, bro. You're all clean shaven and stuff, You have a little flavor saver down here, but that's all right.
Let me ask you guys. That's what I did for my slump. Is there anything you guys did to come out of your slump?
Swish, you go ahead first.
Well, I mean, when you're with a team like the New York Yankees, you can't grow your facial hair out, so you can't do that. But definitely, bro, when I was with the Oakland A's, bro, I had 50 different facial hairstyles, bro. I was thinking that my razor was the reason why I wasn't getting no hits, bro. I've had 40 different haircuts, bro. I've tried everything, bro. But yeah, definitely for that, you know? Definitely had to change it up a little bit. What about you,
Tino, what would you do?
You're looking tight tonight. You got some kind of haircut tonight. You're tight, man.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah, I took it down a little more. And I figured, man, we're trying to give these people an amazing show, bro. I thought I'd clean myself up a little bit.
Conference room there. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, bro. Hey, I'm telling you, dog. Hey, so I'm down here at Miraval, right, in Austin, Texas, and they've been absolutely like the greatest thing ever to me. They set me up, got me a hard line, bro. Like, I feel good. Got the game on here. I got some Topo Chico, some ranch water over here, bro. I'm good to go. I am good to go. Miraval doing it right.
But real quick to answer your question, though, like Eric Carroll said the other night, every time you throw against a guy or you're in a slump, you not to encourage drinking, but you go out a little later. You usually go out, try to have a good night with your friends and relax and totally forget about the game, period, and just relax and maybe have a few too many drinks here and there. The next day you just come out with the next day you come out with not a whole lot of expectations, and all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 hits, you relax the plate, and you get yourself going again. So basically, a lot of guys go out late at night sometimes and they need to help out.
All right, little man soda.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, I was going to say this at the start of the inning, but I was going to say I feel like this is a big inning for the Dodgers because if Morton settles in here, I definitely agree with Swisher. If Morton settles in here, the Dodgers aren't scoring another run for a while, I feel like. Once he gets settled in, I feel like he's just going to cruise for a little while.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys know just like me, man, those starters, those ace number 1 guys, don't let them get comfortable on the mound. Because if they get comfortable and all of a sudden they get that toe hold and it feels good and that land foot feels real good, that makes for a long night. But at the end of the day, man, this is a great matchup. This is a pitching matchup. What was the over-under? Does anybody know? Maybe like 5.5 maybe or something like that?
It can't be. Last night was, the last game was like 8. It can't be up that high.
It can't be too late. It can't be too high. But either way, man, the way these guys pitch and they get comfortable, and also too, this helps the bullpen, helps save those guys in the bullpen and gives those guys an advantage, game 6, 7, 5, 6, 7.
So he needed that inning there. That was that had to be less than 10 pitches, I think. Big inning there for Morton. I have a question for you guys. We were just talking about what you guys would do when you were really slumping. And you look at Rosarena tonight wearing different cleats out in the outfield, trying to change it up a little bit. I got a funny one, but not from me personally. And I know you guys have some stories about some crazy stuff teammates did. We had a guy on my team with the Tigers in the minor leagues. He was on like an 0 for 20 stretch, which happens. Everybody's been there. He was on an 0 for 20 stretch. We're in the locker room one day pregame. We're eating our meals. He's in his like shorts. We're eating. He goes to change into his baseball pants, and he's wearing his girlfriend's pink underwear. I swear to you.
Oh, bro.
And I know you guys have stories like that.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, bro.
Swish,
the only reason why I'm telling this story is because it's game 3, and this is when my breakout occurred, was in game 3. Okay? Here we go, 2009, I'm going to take you back. Right? We started off game 1, Cliff Lee, he dominated us. I didn't have a very good game. Joe Girardi decided to bench me for game 2, right? Having a horrible postseason.
Sit you down.
Bench, sit down, right? Whatever you want to call it. At the time, it still feels like a benching, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I don't know what to do, man. I'm frustrated. I'm upset. I'm embarrassed, right? All of that stuff comes into play. Stevie Donahue, long-time, unbelievable trainer for the New York Yankees. He was like, Swish, hey, I got something for you. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And he was like, have you ever heard of the golden thong? And I was like, the golden thong? What are you talking about? And he was like, oh, man, this is then you need to come. I need to show you this. I had kind of heard of this golden thong through Jason Giambi a few times, right? But I always thought it was a myth. I didn't think it was real. Right? And I was just kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do with it? And he was like, you wear it during the game. And I was like, well, so, how do I get it? And he's like, I'll bring it to you tomorrow. Okay, right?
For one moment here, for you all listening out there, the golden thong is what you think it is. It's thong.
It's a sparkly, shiny, golden thong. Yes, correct, right? And the word was behind the golden thong. And the word and the story behind the golden thong was that it was only able to be used by the people most desperately in need of it, right? So it wasn't one of those things you just wore for like a week. It was a thing that you wore for one game. And supposedly the powers that the golden thong had within it, right, just pushed the slump out of there and got you back to where you needed to be. So at that point, I'm like, oh, hell, bro. I can't even see the baseball, bro. I'll wear that golden thong for sure. Now the rule was you couldn't slide the golden thong over your sliders. It had to be skin to skin, right? Thong to skin, right? So I'm like, okay, I never really put on a thong before, but I'm like, game 3 rolls around, and I'm like, batting practice comes in. I'm even messing with my bat. I'm trying to find like a different stance, something different with my hands to feel good. And right before the game starts, here comes Stevie Donahue with that golden thong in his hand.
I gotta ask. Was it the same golden thong that everyone shared? And Tino, did you ever wear this thing?
The same one, bro. Same thong, right? And so I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, bro, I'm so desperate, I'm on, right? Man, I drop trowel, bro. I put that golden thong on, bro. I slide my sliders back on top. 2 for 4, double and a homer, bro. Golden thong for life. Let's go. Hey, bro, I wanted to keep it. Because it was so amazing. I had like an unbelievable game. I felt good about myself. And Stevie Donahue was like, hey, Swish, I need that thong back. And I'm like, well, you need the thong back. He's like, hey, man, somebody else is going to need it one of these days. Hey, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. So I asked him, I said, Stevie, I called him. And I said after, I was like, Stevie, how many people have donned the golden thong? And he was like, I think 4. 4 total people. He wouldn't give me names. But I'm definitely going to say I was definitely one of those guys that rode that golden thong, bro. And I will believe in the powers that the golden thong has till the day that I die, bro. No doubt about it. Actually, I tried to get it from Stevie, and I tried to get it here tonight. But he was like, nope, I got that in a special place.
Swish, does that get washed, or is it just you can't wash the powers away?
No, you know what? I don't know. I have no idea. Nor did I care at the time, bro. I was like, you know what? This thing's like a unicorn, bro. I'm in. I need it. I need it more than anything, bro. And I fired that thing on there, bro. Went out, had a great game. Had to give it right back. Didn't get another hit the rest of the playoffs, bro. But that's all right. That's all right.
Tino, have you ever seen the golden thong, and have you ever worn it?
No, I have not seen it. I think that came along, and I'm going to throw him out there because he will gladly admit to it. Jason Giambi, back then. Jason Giambi brought that in. That was Jason Giambi's deal, who is one of the greatest guys in baseball, by the way. Fantastic human being. It was his idea. He brought it into the Yankees. I think he had it in Oakland as well.
Yes. He brought it over with him, right? And by the way, supposedly there are 2 golden thongs, right? There is the one that I wore, and then there's the all-time special one that only Jason Giambi wore, which was actually a custom-made tool shed golden thong. Remember the tool shed sliders from back in the day? Yep, tool shed golden thong. But that one right there only dawns Jason Giambi's body. That's it. Nobody else gets that one. The powers would be too much.
I've never seen it. I've never done it, but that was a Jason Giambi thing, who is a great human being. We got to get him on here.
I know, bro. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text him right now and be like, cousin, just told the golden thong story. He'll be like, wow. Oh, my gosh, bro. He's like, people still won't believe it. That's when he'll text me, bro. Here we go right here, man. Hey, Walker Buehler, how's he looking? He looks pretty good so far.
Incredible. 18 pitches, bottom of the second, 1 out, 0-2 count, just throwing balls by everybody. I mean, he's not even wasting pitches at this point. I mean, that's 99 right by you. See ya.
Yeah, I think that just kind of goes along with what Matt Kemp said, man. His fastball explodes on you. Right? You get a look at it, but by the time you're trying to get a look at it, it's just jumping and speeding up, right? There's some guys who throw curveballs that do that, right? You think you have a lock on it, and once it starts to break, it catches a different speed, and it seems like his fastball does that.
Well, yeah, also look, man, like all the swings that you're going to see on his fastball tonight will be underneath. It will be underneath that rising fastball. He's kind of one of those guys, and Rick and I talk, like, that's Margot, that's 2 fastballs in a row he blew by him. But that's just like –
we went to Rosarina, hitting third last inning there, talking about him struggling a little bit. The thing is, when he struggles like that, he's a very aggressive hitter. He jumps that first pitch fastball the entire postseason, has hit the ball out of the ballpark. So first pitch fastball right down the middle, he took it. Right down the middle, then he swung it 2 sliders away. That's when you know you're struggling, because he lost his self-confidence a little bit, where instead of jumping that first pitch fastball like he has been doing the entire postseason, he let it right down the middle and chased 2 sliders away. That's when you know that he's thinking too much.
Yep.
100%. You know that thinking ain't it, dude. Because then you're out in front. You're out in front of all the off-speed pitches, and you're behind the fastball. And that's the last place you want to be tonight on Walker Buehler's behind that fastball.
Yeah, everybody talks about launch angle, and I know we always talk about what we think about this. Like, It may work against some guys, but against Walker Buehler with that fastball that's riding up on you, you got to get on top of that thing and keep the barrel up. If you let the barrel drop below your hands, there's no way you're getting to this ball. Not his fastball.
That's
Swish, you just said behind the fastball. Oh, go ahead, Tino.
No, when you face it like that, throwing that hard, and he's attacking the zone. You're right, Rick. You're totally right. You're thinking about barreling it up, hit a line drive, hit a hard ground ball, try to get it through. You can't try to go take this guy deep. I mean,
no.
Whether ball you take it deep is a mistake. You're not looking for that hanging slider, but those fastballs he's throwing, just try to shorten up, barrel it up, get an inning going there, get some runners on base.
Swish, you said the last place you want to be against a guy like this is late on the fastball, early on off speed. With Buehler out there throwing 99 with a nasty curveball, is it almost like are you sitting on something? Like, what's your approach against a guy like this?
I mean, bro, I'm looking straight gas, bro. Like, I'm sitting on heaters all night. I don't care if he flips me 30 breaking balls. I'm not going to hit that anyways, bro. I got to hit the fastball. That was the type of hitter I was. I didn't like the off-speed pitches as much, but when somebody like that throws his fastball at that high of a percentage, I'm going to try and get on at least one of those, right? Like, yeah, he'll fool me a few times, but that's not going to take away my game plan. I have to stay on his gas because if I start messing around with the breaking balls, then I'm completely messed up. Then I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So for me, my dad always taught me to be ready for the hardest pitch, and that's exactly what I would try and do.
Is there anything you guys did? So, like, okay, I know both of you guys hit lefty, but like, so I was a low ball hitter. I was a true lefty. Like, I hit low balls. High balls were a problem for me. And honestly, when I would face guys like this that could ride that ball up in the zone, I would honestly stand taller and almost make sure my hands were a little bit taller so that when I rotated, I was just kind of there because I couldn't let myself get when I had to pitch, right? So
as soon as those hands drop, then you're underneath it. It's over.
Would you guys do anything against somebody who was throwing a little bit higher velocity? Or could you just keep in your same stance? How'd that work for you guys?
No, I mean, again, like he's throwing first pitch fastballs all night. He's got 98 miles an hour. He's throwing it consistently down the middle. But you have to look. What I did was early in the count. You have to look middle in or middle away. If you try to cover the entire plate when the guy's running that hard and the ball's jumping on you, you can't do it. You'll be late on the fastball away if you're looking in. You'll be opening up too soon on the ball middle away. So you gotta look for a certain spot. When the first pitch fastball, you look for it. You look for it middle in, middle away to go the other way, or pull it. You can't think of the whole entire plate. You can't cover it at that type of speed right there.
Yeah, you can't cover all 17 inches, bro. It's too much. I mean, it's on you before you can blink. I think the one thing I might have done is I choked up. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but I just choked up. I was like either choked up or got a shorter bat. Same model, just a little shorter. Normally I was a 34 guy, but I might go to a 33 and a half.
You know, man, if y'all watch the people out there watch the entire postseason, you see Correa, you see Bregman, you see Joey Bauer.
Seager.
They choke up the entire time because they want to just barrel it up all the time. That's why they're so successful and don't strike out so much.
Yeah, but Rick, also too, sorry, Ben, real quick before we move on to that next one. Also, too, remember, these guys are throwing 99, 100 miles an hour. You don't need to supply a whole lot of power when someone's throwing that hard. All you need to do is be able to have that barrel meet it up. At the end of the day, you're just trying to meet the baseball, right? You're trying to beat the barrel to the spot. And that's exactly what JT did in that top of the first inning, right? He beat the barrel to that I think what was that, fastball or a spinning slider up in the zone first inning for a home run. He didn't hit it that hard. Might have been off the end of the bat a little bit.
Rick, so you're saying against a guy like Buehler that likes to ride that fastball up in the zone, you're going up there and you're going to have a different stance at a bat. You're going to stand a little taller is what you're saying?
Yeah, I did. And I can give you another Dodger example. Say like Chad Billingsley. I don't know if you guys faced him, but he could just ride that fastball up. I didn't like the fastball up. And honestly, my setup was designed, my strengths, my skill sets were down in the zone. And so when I knew that the other guy's skill set was up in the zone and he knew that my skill set was low and I knew they were going to attack me up, I had to adjust to that. So I would actually adjust my stance and adjust my swing to be ready to hit that ball. Now, not out of the zone. Don't get me wrong. I swung at balls out of the zone, but I adjusted my stance and swing to be ready to hit that ball in the top of the zone. Not that I'm trying to go deep. I wanted to be able to at least just get the barrel there to give myself a chance to be successful.
Right. Would you find that changed how, like if you got a pitch low in this, so if you went up with a higher stance and you're looking for that elevated fastball, would that change how you reacted and swung at a pitch low in the zone? Like, would you then take it if you're looking for a fastball high in a different stance?
No. So I'll kind of relate it to like Ken Griffey Jr., right? Stood high, kept the barrel high, you can always go high to low because all you got to do is drop the barrel down.
Yeah.
So just when guys could ride that up, because what happens is when he releases the ball, what I see, it almost looks like it's at my waist. By the time I go to swing, right, it's a little higher than that. So I just had to make sure that I set my sights higher, that I could get here. Versus sometimes, my skill, like I said, my skill set strength was down here. I had to make sure that the first 6 inches of my swing started here and not down here to cover those balls down there, if that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
Yep, big time. Well, second time around the lineup, right? I feel like, you get a chance to see a guy like Charlie Morton. I think at the beginning of the game, I think Mookie Betts was the only guy hitting over 300 against Morton. And I think the rest of the team, it was bad. Morton was just running through that lineup.
Yeah.
But this is the type of guy that needs to get going, right? Mookie's the guy that if he goes, they go. And if he can get back on the base pass and cause some havoc, then he can really start to open up this game a little bit more.
Yeah. And you talked about the first inning, and Mookie obviously came out there. I think Mookie's the only guy that swung at, it seemed like he's the only guy that came out swinging first pitch of the game. Love that approach from him. When you see a guy go after it, go get that pitch. It looks like Morton's settling in now.
Wow, man, Morton looks good right now.
And he's still in line for this stat, even though he did give up a run in the first. But Morton is on a streak of 5 straight postseason starts with a win and 1 earned run or fewer. Currently tied for the longest streak in history. 1 earned run and a win or fewer in 5 straight postseason starts. So he is locked in right now.
Laser lock, bro. And isn't Charlie Morton like in his mid-30s too, bro? He ain't like no spring chicken, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's been through it, right? But then again, man, bro, he's pitched in these games, dog. He was with the Astros. He knows what these games are all about. This is nothing for him. This is just another start. And by the way, don't catch him in a clinching game, bro. Because if you do, it's over, bro. He's amazing in those clinching games. He's a huge, big game pitcher. And to be able to have guys like Blake Snell on your staff, as well as Glasnow, then all of a sudden this dude falls into the 2 or 3 slot. Now he's going up against, in the regular season, number 2 and number 3 guys. That's advantage Charlie Morton all day, bro.
Did you ever face him, Swish?
Yep.
I feel like you get him? Yeah. I feel like he's a totally different pitcher later, and you mentioned it. He's older. He's later in his career. I feel like he's such a better pitcher now than he was with the Pirates, than he was before he got to the Astros, and just kind of turned his career around.
Hey man, this is no knock on the Pirates, but everybody's a better pitcher when they leave Pittsburgh, bro. I don't even know what else to say. Glasnow, Garrett Cole, right? Charlie Morton, right? Even Chris Archer. Maybe he was a little better when he got there. Yeah. But I'm just even thinking of like everybody that they've had there, because they've had some arms run through Pittsburgh for sure. But you're right, man. I think that you learn by the experiences you have in this game. And for Charlie Morton, bro, nobody on that roster has as many big games or big game starts as Charlie Morton does. So having somebody like that in the locker room for the Rays is absolutely huge right now.
Yeah. But also, when you get older, the older you get, you learn more, you become more, you have a better idea what you're doing. And most guys, they get older, they lose their stuff. Well, right now, this guy's getting older, but he still has the great stuff to go along with his power.
He's got the stuff.
Yeah.
That's what made him a better pitcher, that he knows what he's doing now more than he did 3 or 4 years ago, but yet he still has the great fastball and great slider and curveball.
I remember him saying, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was still with the Astros, where he's like, I think this is it. I think I'm done.
I know, right? And then he signed that deal because he lives in St. Pete, doesn't he, or something around there?
That type of mindset, right? He's like, all right, fine. I'll give you a little bit.
Yeah, right? Yeah, like it's no big deal. Like I'm just gonna roll out of bed and do this, bro. I'm like,
anxiety whatsoever. It's almost like a Josh Beckett. You remember him during the regular season? It'd be average as can be. You get him in the postseason, he'll throw 5 shutout games right in a row, all 9 innings.
Bro, I faced him when he was in the regular season, and then again in the postseason. It's a different ball game, bro. It's a whole different pitcher, man. He got the snarl, he got the look in the postseason. Like he was a gamer, bro. But he had that when he was young with the Marlins, bro. Like you're trying to tell me him, Dontrell Willis, those dudes were all young pups. Be able to go out and do what they did, especially to the Yankees. You knew those guys had some huevos on them for sure.
No doubt. AJ had a part of that. But Beckett always amazed me about that. And I always felt like the regular season, I really think that it just didn't keep his interest. It was almost like, yeah, whatever, man. And then he got in the postseason. He's like, oh, no, this matters? Now you're going to see what I can do. Like, it took that to get him to actually focus on what he wanted.
You know, that reminds me, and it's an interesting you mention it like that, because I was just sitting here thinking of Madison Bumgarner. That's the name that comes to mind for me. Honestly, one of the best postseason pitchers we've ever seen. But, you know, when you look at his regular season numbers, especially the last few years, they're unimpressive. But his postseason, like, you don't want to see that guy in the postseason. And that makes sense. You kind of just flip a new switch, and you're a gamer every game you're going out there and pitching. But in the postseason, it's like these guys are just a switch is flipping and they're just dominating.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got to see that up close and personal in 2014, what he was able to do. Bro, against Kansas City Royals, he's pitching games, he's shutting games down, bro. Like, by the way, if you've ever gotten up on Madison Bumgarner, he is a monster, bro. That is a big man. And for him to be able to do what he's done for his entire career, maybe the last couple of years he's had some down years, and there might still be some good years in him, but we definitely know there's some postseason years, because when that dude's in the postseason, bro, he's nasty.
No doubt about it. You know what's funny? When you look at the best pitchers of all time, right? You go back to like Roger Clemens, and I'll include Max Scherzer and all these guys, where even your brother Justin Verlander, when they're able to raise their game each and every single game, which they do, right? A lot of the teams, I feel like, hitters get to see them.
Oh, they're gonna send him here?
They're sending him. He's going.
Oh.
Wow. How many outs? 2 outs?
2 outs.
Uh-oh.
Surprising.
Hey, man, being a third base coach be hard, bro. Yes. You got to make like split-second decisions, bro. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
Hey, I'm a windmill dog at third base. I am a windmill, bro. Coming in there, bro. Everybody's getting thrown out of home, bro. Because my boys be going for it, you know?
Let's see if we can see here where he was when I think
it looked like he shut it down early, bro.
Yep.
Looked like he shut it down. He's looking at him like.
Dude, I think he scores there.
Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda, bro. Now what's going to happen is now you need to get another hit. And everybody knows how hard it is to string 3 hits together, regardless of who you're facing.
Especially against Charlie Morton, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, hey, kudos to Rosarina for cutting that ball off, right? If he doesn't get around that thing and make that good throw, I think he shuts him down early. Watch. He shuts him down early. Look. You know what I mean?
I think he was trying. He was watching how he fielded that ball. Did he field it cleanly?
Did he field it clean or not? Yep, you're so right.
Yep. So back to my point there. What I was saying was this: is like the guys who can continually raise the bar as pitchers every single game. Guys see that, right? The Josh Beckett's, the guys who only raise it in the postseason. I feel like what happens is nobody's really seen that side of them yet. You don't even prepare for that, and then the postseason starts, and it's such a different side of them that in the game plan you're not even ready for that. You've never even seen it. It's just different. Not that I would recommend anyone don't rate the game to the highest.
Tino, is there anybody that really stands out to you that we were just talking about Josh Beckett and how he was a little different in the regular season compared to the postseason? Was there anybody that you saw in the regular season and felt like, wow, man, I got this guy, but then you saw him in the postseason and you were just like, whoa, bro, who is that guy? That guy's totally different.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, though, that really they elevate their game in the postseason. They throw harder. They're breaking balls a lot sharper, but and I hate to say this because he's a really great pitcher, Hall of Fame pitcher, Pedro Martinez. You face him in the regular season, and he's all pumped up, and he's got great stuff. But you get him in the postseason, man. That guy.
Oh, I'm sure it's a different ball game, bro.
His 97 becomes 99, 100. It's like sliders hard, changeup's hard. He's jacked up. He feeds off the crowd, especially back in Fenway Park when the crowd was on his side. He would just be so jacked up and really turned it up another notch. If it's possible to even say he has a notch. He just turned it up a notch and just really blew us away. One year in the postseason, I think it was 98 or 99. We played the Red Sox in the ALCS. We went 11-1 the postseason, won the World Series, 11-1. The one game we lost was against Pedro in Yankee Stadium, I think it was. He had like 17 punch outs. He was blowing gas, a one-hitter. I mean, blew us away the entire game. And basically, it was like one of those games, you go, hey, tip your hat to him, let's get him tomorrow.
Exactly.
We one game that postseason. That's how good he was that year.
Tino, wow, 2 runs scored there.
Wow, they scored, bro. That doesn't happen, bro. That doesn't happen, bro. Stringing those hits together like that. That don't happen.
So, Tino, let me ask you this question. A situation like that, runners on second and third, 2 outs, you're Muncy. Are you walking up to the plate with a different mindset, knowing there's an open base and I need to be a little more patient here? They may, throw me a few more balls. They may pitch around me. Or is it the same old mindset as if the bases were loaded and there was no open base?
Yeah, no, you're up there aggressive. I mean, the guy behind you, who's sitting behind you, is obviously hitting the ball well as well. So you're looking for a good ball to hit and just hit it hard somewhere. You're certainly not looking to hit the ball at the ballpark. All that launch angle, I'm going to let one fly here. You're looking to put the barrel on the ball. I mean, there's a lot of open spaces out there as in these days where all the shifts are on. If you barrel one up the middle hard somewhere, you got a lot of holes out there, and that's what you're thinking right now. Just hit it hard somewhere, and you got good things will happen.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, I got something for you, bro, and I'm only trying to think of this as like a manager for right now. I mean, at Kevin Cash right now, if this game starts to get a little out of hand and they score another run, do you pull Charlie Morton early just so you know you're able to use him again maybe a little earlier, right? Do you – I mean, I know you don't ever give up on a game, right? You don't ever flop on a game. But right now, if this game gets out of hand early, do you let Charlie ride a little bit because you don't want to burn the rest of your bullpen?
Man, that's such a great question. And I mean,
I thought about
it. I think that I pull him out if he gives up another run because of this. The day is not set up to score 4 runs. Like
right.
Walker Buehler is doing his thing. Listen, I know I got Urias coming in, starting the game tomorrow. For me, he's been their best pitcher right now. Maybe he isn't tomorrow, but I'm looking at it like, man, I'm facing another giant tomorrow for the Dodgers because really the starting pitching of the Rays are better. I mean, they are. They're starting to be better.
All the way, top to bottom, for sure. They're top 3 against the Dodgers top 3, no doubt.
I think the fine line there, the fine line right now where he's got 55, 56 pitches or so.
57.
If he can get out of this inning here, which he is, if he's out of this inning here and now he's at 55, you got to keep him back in there. Bring him back in there for another couple innings. He can settle down. He's not rattled and he doesn't think his stuff is not good. He's going to settle down and maybe give you 2 or 3 more good innings. Now you watch him inning to inning and then decide then. But you definitely
my only thing is
more here for sure.
My only thing is this: is that you're going to need him for Game 7 if it gets that far, and if you lose this game, it's going to have to get that far for you to win. I don't want him tired for Game 7 because it's going to be everything he has. So now I'm starting to look at this like, man, like you said, Swish, I don't want to give away a game, but
totally right. But play for. I'm winning the series. I don't care about the game. I got to win the series.
Now he becomes my Game 7 starter, and I have to possibly look at that. That's why I'm glad I'm not the manager, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's
you got to get to Game 7. I mean, right now he's at 50-something pitches, whatever. Give him 80 pitches, and he'll be fine in Game 7. He's going to don't burn him out, but give him another inning or 2 and see what happens here. See the Rays score a run.
I think it's a totally.
If they pull him out of the game, I think the Dodger dugout will be so fired up and jacked up, like it's a victory for them in a sense. But I wouldn't do that right now.
Well, hell, you knocked Charlie Morton out of the game. That is a victory, bro. Are you kidding me?
That's why you keep him in.
Oh, well, yeah, but I think now it's 3-0 right now. I definitely don't think you make that move now. But if you do start scoring another run, too, if it gets to 5-0, and Kevin Cash knows his lineup's not – I'm not going to say they're not going to come back from 5-0, but it's not built to come back 5-0. 3-0 is a totally different ball game. But if they get into that 4 or 5 area, you gotta look into the mirror and say, our chances of coming back to winning this game aren't great.
The percentages keep going down.
Right. If I can bring him back in a Game 6 as opposed to a Game 7, which there may not be, there's a good chance there is a Game 6. There's not a great chance there's a Game 7. Maybe bringing him out that extra inning or 2 early could allow him to pitch a game earlier in the series.
It does, but what is the pitch count, Rick? Like, what would the pitch count be there? Like, say 65, 70, 75, where he'd still be good for Game 6? That's what you got to look at. I'm not sure the pitch count may be, but he's only in the 50s right now. So, I mean, what do you want? What's the number roughly?
Well, I mean, I mean, realistically, like they only go 80 or 90 anyway, and I think that's kind of like the race starters. That's what they do. They're 80 or 90 pitches. So Tino, I think you're right. Swish, I understand your point 100%. So I know that he's got to be looking at it like, well, hopefully he can shut down another 2 innings, and then you don't waste your bullpen guys. But let's be honest, the way this is playing out so far, if the Rays don't score this inning and the Dodgers have another shutdown inning, like this is playing right into the Dodgers' hand. Bueller's dealing. So they can't.
Buehler. Yeah, Buehler is dealing. We see those tweets that we got that love coming in for Max Muncy right now. Guys, make sure you send in your tweets, your questions to us. and Swish and Rick and Tino and myself to @MLB on Fox. We will answer any questions you guys send in. So please send in those tweets. Get that Twitter open, send in those tweets, and we would love to answer some questions for you guys.
Absolutely, guys. And I'm going to welcome, this is like my favorite part of the games, bro, is when we get to welcome in our guests, bro. Because for me, bro, just bring me the clock. I'm Flavor Flav. I'm the hype man, bro. I'm going to bring this guy in right now. He's a first-round draft pick back in 2015, right? He comes from the University of Cincinnati. I love me some OHIO, bro. Listen, 2020 was an unbelievable year for him, a breakout year, a solidification year. He is the center field for the Chicago Cubs. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for In Help!
That's the best intro I've ever been given by far. No
Bro,
question.
I want you to feel comfortable and feel that love, bro. You know what I'm saying? How you doing, bro? Welcome to the show.
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Oh, bro.
Hope I can match your energy.
Don't you try.
Well, bro, we love being able to have current players on the on the show right now that can kind of talk about everything that happened this season, because all of us guys, we're old and retired. But for you this year, bro, in the 2020 season, how crazy was it?
It was insane. I mean, it was just good to be out playing. I think that was the biggest part, was just we got to play baseball this year. We got to go to work, which is something we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do in March. So we're really fortunate to have been able to do that. But it was a lot. It was probably the most mentally exhausting season that you could ask for. Just everything that we had to go through with the protocols, with what it took showing up to the ballpark every day, getting yourself up to not play in front of fans. And especially, at Wrigley Field, we missed them. We missed having 40,000 every day. You missed that Tuesday day game in the middle of summer that's sold out, and you wonder if people in Chicago even work. Like the little things like that definitely made it a long year, and what people went through with their families. It was a lot, but it was just good to be out there.
Ian, I got a question for you. And the Dodgers is obviously up 3-0. If you're the Rays here and you're going up to the plate facing a guy like Buehler that's absolutely locked in right now, is your approach at the plate? Are you gonna see a pitch? Are you gonna try and get deep into a count and get Buehler some pitches in him, or are you just going up there with the same old approach and just trying to get a pitch to hit? And does your approach change at all in a situation like this?
That's a tough question, because I think that guys have to, especially when you're going through the second, third time through the lineup, you have to stick with your approach or make your adjustment for your second at bat, because that's when you get to the guy, right? Even the guy that's nasty, you get to him second time through, third time through. But at the same time, the times that you've seen Buehler struggle a tiny bit, because he hasn't really struggled, he's been pretty dominant. But you've seen a chink in the armor is when he'll get a little wild, walk the bases loaded, and he's gotten out of every one of those jams this postseason. But you're kind of hoping for him to make a few mistakes here, because he's throwing absolute bowling balls with some nasty secondary stuff.
Ian, listen, congrats on your year. First of all, I'm a big fan. You were like the Cardinal killer this year.
He was, bro. You killed them cards, bro. Bird killer, bro.
What do you think the difference is of where you found your success, right? Is it like, what do you think's happened?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think first and foremost, it was experience and at-bats. I think for the first time in my career, I was given the opportunity to play every day. Rossi really believed in me, and I really appreciate that. And just being able to kind of have the center field job and go out as a switch hitter and get those at-bats every day, it was huge. So that was the first thing. But definitely over the last 2 years, just learning a lot about myself. Learning a lot about myself as a baseball player. I had to go down and spend a good amount of time last year in AAA, which nobody wants to do. But I was able to come back and kind of late in the season last year, find some things and kind of get that confidence back. And I think for young hitters in the big leagues, that's the first thing that goes is you have a little bit of self-doubt, a little bit of lack of confidence, and doesn't matter how good you are physically or how talented you are. If you go into a big league baseball game without confidence, it's going to be
over,
a
bro.
tough one.
It's so over.
Yeah.
Well, and I got a question for you. I'm gonna jump in before you T real fast, but I'm saying, in my mind, I feel like you played for one of the best managers in the game, you know, and Joe Madden, and obviously you got
Oh,
Dave
yeah.
Ross that comes over there this year, right?
Mhm.
Kind of a two-part question. Number one, what are the differences in the two? And for somebody like me that wants to be a manager down the road, what are the attributes that those guys have that makes a player loved?
Yeah, I was so fortunate to have Joe Madden as my first manager in the big leagues. Like, that was something I
He's
tried to
so
never
badass,
take.
bro. He's so
Oh my
great,
God,
dude.
he's unbelievable. And I think that was something I never tried to take for granted either. It was just kind of soak in everything um, around him. And the biggest thing with Joe that was so impressive is that he was the same guy every day. And it didn't matter if you won or you lost, getting on the plane, you know, he was the same guy. He would tell you nice shoes, he would dap you up getting on the plane. And I think that even keelness that Joe had, the ability to turn the page over the course of 162 was so impressive. Um, and I just really try to never take that for granted. And then with Rossi, his energy, his ability to communicate with players, um, being so recently removed for the game, his understanding for how hard it is, his ability to walk around during BP and check in on you and kind of have that like really keen sense for what it means to be a big league baseball player today. I think those were the two strengths for those guys that were just out of this world.
That's awesome, bro. I mean, you know, being able to have that communication. I mean, obviously, you said it firsthand. Like this year, you know, Rossi saying like, "Hey, Happer, this is you. You're our center fielder. You're going to be there every day." And for even somebody like myself, that when I felt like I got that opportunity, bro, I was like, bro, I felt like the chains were ripped off me. And
Yeah.
for somebody like you, bro, that brings power, speed to the game, that's got to just open you up and feel like you just become Superman.
Yeah, and I think that that's super important is just the communication piece and the honesty. And guys will run through a wall for you if you just tell them what you want them to do. And I think that as soon as you give the guy the freedom to say, this is your role, this is what I expect of you, you're going to get the best version of that guy. And I think that holds true for a lot of us. So um, it was huge for me. And I think that when you're not worried about going over for 2 punch outs and what that means for your playing time the next day. It's just such a freeing experience.
What was it like? What was it like becoming a leader, right? Because we know that with success, you become a leader in that clubhouse. Did that help your confidence? And what was that transition like for you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to define leadership, and we have some really good ones in our clubhouse. So there's not a bunch of pressure for a guy in his fourth year to be a leader in that team. You know, you have John Lester, Jason Hayward, and of course the captain Anthony Rizzo. So pass those duties off to the big boys and just try to contribute as much as I can. But I think as far as being a leader in the outfield, that was something that we definitely talked about a little bit. And Jason Hayward gave me such a confidence boost when I would look over at this dude with 800 gold gloves
No doubt,
and
right? He's
and
so
a
good out
rocket launcher on his arm, and I would, I would be a right-handed hitter, and we get the 2 strikes, and I'd be like, "Hey, Jake, you take a few steps in and just give him, hey, couple in," and he would look back at me, and it wasn't like it was a, "I got you, awesome," and he moved. So, I think for me that this year was just such a big confidence boost, and being a leader in the outfield to be able to move Schwarb, to move Jason, and have those guys reciprocate it and really feel confident in my pregame work and my work with our outfield coach Will Venable to put some of that stuff in place. So that was awesome.
But I totally understand how you feel, Ian. You're a great player, and you're going to be a great player from here on out. I know when I was a young player coming up with the Seattle Mariners, I had a manager, Jimmy Lefevre, when I first got called up. He didn't play me at all. I just got called up in September. I didn't play at all. The next year in spring training, he had no confidence in me for whatever reason. Then I got called up again. The next year, we had a new manager, Bill Plummer. So now I get called up in last month of the season. He played me. I couldn't play against lefties. I hit the ball good against righties, but in the minor leagues, I killed lefties. I didn't play. So he had no confidence in me at all. So anyhow, I did that for about 3 years before I really got the full-time job. And when Lou Piniella came along, when Lou Piniella got the job for the Seattle Mariners, he told me after all those little struggles I had, or I wouldn't say struggles, I would say the no confidence
just
in me,
learning
the
experiences.
no confidence it had in me. They didn't give me a chance to improve myself because they're trying to save their jobs. I mean, we're already in last place. I'm not sure what they're trying to save. But anyhow, when Lou came along, he told me from day one, he goes, "Hey, you're my first baseman. You're playing against righties, lefties. You can hit. You're my guy no matter what." And that year, I just took off. I mean, I just played lefties, righties. 0 for 4 didn't matter. The next day, I'm playing against I don't know, some left-handed pitcher. I'm hitting the ball all over the ballpark and had a great year. And that gave me the confidence to become the player I became over my career, just like you're going through right now. And it's going to happen for you as well. It wasn't just this year, buddy. You're gonna take off from here on out. So congratulations.
I appreciate it. It's so huge. And in this era of sabermetrics and matchups and having guys where roster construction is made for not just, not just to play the baseball game, but a right-handed lineup and a left-handed lineup. And, you really do. You have to get in there and have somebody believe in you to get a chance to prove that you could do it.
Right. They have your back. You have your back. And when you got that feeling from your manager, you're going to play way better and be more productive.
Well, Happer, hey, bro, I got another one for you, bro. I love this, bro. I love being able to interview like guys going through this stuff right now. And I think for you, bro, I've always been a fan not only because you're from the state of Ohio, bro, but because I think you're a switch hitter and you're an outfielder. I really appreciate that. But for me, I think there's a lot of kids that are out there watching this stream right here. And like you said, last year you had to go back down to the minor leagues for a little bit. Something that nobody wants to do. Believe me, bro. I did it at the end of my career, and I was like, bro, this is for the birds, bro. Like, get me out of here, dog. Like, 10-hour bus rides, bro. I'm like, that ain't it. But I think the one thing that I would like for you to maybe talk about for a hot minute is maybe the things that you found. You said you found a couple things, and I'm sure it was probably something in your swing. But what was it? Something in your mind as well? Maybe something mental? Because I think there's a lot of kids out there that struggle, and I think they don't know how to deal with the adversity. For someone that dealt with it firsthand, maybe give people a little insight on that.
Yeah. So the hardest part for me was that I had been in the big leagues for almost 2 full years.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, almost 2, yeah.
So I came up in May of 17 and had a great year. I mean, hit 24 home runs as a rookie. And,
bombs, bro.
And was feeling really good about where I was headed. And then, led off the 2018 season with a homer. Didn't play the next day.
One of 2 players ever, for the record.
Yeah. Didn't play the next day, and then kind of just struggled through the year. I got some at bats, and I played a bunch, but I just never got to a point where I was really comfortable and had a really tough end of the year. But came into camp, committed to making some changes, committed to being a part of the team, and never thought for a second that I would be starting the year in AAA. And so going through that experience, the frustration, the anger, not understanding, and it took me a little bit of time to get over that and to find a path forward. And I spent more time in AAA than I probably would have if it took me a little less to get over that, and more than I wanted to, for sure. But in the course of that, I realized that I was going to play every day no matter what. I was going to get my 5 at-bats a day, and they didn't matter because your AAA stats don't go on the back of the baseball card.
Right.
And it freed me up to work on some things and to try some stuff. And the big issue that I had in 18 was strikeouts. And so I started working on choking up and what that would feel like. I finally got to a place where I hit a couple choked up home runs, which is something I never thought was possible. And,
choking up works, kids. It works.
Yeah,
It works.
Yeah, and so now I hit basically at least a hair choked up at all times, and then go a little farther with 2 strikes. But that was a big thing for me, physically. And my swing still wasn't exactly where it is now. Actually, probably not that close to where it is now when I came back up to the big league. But in early July, I said, you know what? I need to go back and look at what Ian Happ, the AA player that dominated, looked like. Ian Happ. Right. I watched a lot of video from 17, but it's really hard to recreate feelings, I think. And I think you can look back at video of when you were at your best, and you try to recreate that, and you feel like you're in a completely different body because your body's changed, your flexibility's changed, you've been working out for 3 years. Everything is a little different. So I went back even farther. I went to AA, and I said, what was different? What felt different? What did that look like? And you know what? I kind of came to the conclusion that I had a lot of confidence then, and nobody could get me out. And I didn't have that in 18 in the big leagues because everybody got me out. Everybody punched my ticket. So I really just made this commitment to myself that I was going to take the confident guy into the box with me, and I was going to really focus on having a plan and being as confident as I possibly could be, or tricking myself into being as confident as I possibly could be. and just seeing if that guy would be a great baseball player. And I hit really well. I just dominated the month of July in AAA and got back to the big leagues and found a way to be confident in the big leagues and bring that guy to the ballpark.
Hey, Ian, as we're watching this, a little safety squeeze there to make it a 4-0 ball game. This
Joe
is obviously
Madden loves that.
Loves it, bro.
Loves the safety squeeze.
That's winning baseball. That's
This
winning.
is a big.
baseball, yeah.
This is obviously a great pitchers matchup. Charlie Morton, Walker Buehler. Who are some pitchers that come to mind that you just hate facing? Who are some of the best pitchers you've had to face?
Yeah, I always go with Kershaw for this one because I'm 0 for 6 with 6 punchies. So not a great start to my.
We got to
career
catch him on a
with
bad
Kershaw.
day, bro. We got to catch him on a bad one.
But besides that, let me see. Training got me really good a few years back. His stuff is silly.
Filthy.
You know, Jansen. In the 17 playoffs. My role was to pinch hit and get out against Jansen and see how many bats I could break. In our CS series against them. So don't love facing him. Finally got like a sawed-off hit in 18 at some point, but
That's it.
there's just watching this series, both bullpens, and it's just the whole staffs from both these teams are ridiculous. Some of the movement, this camera angle also makes it look like every pitch is 180.
I know, right? It's scary, bro, right? It's crazy. So what do you think, Ian? So, I mean, you've been in the big leagues now for a little bit, right? I mean, what do you think's the major difference, you know? I mean, even now with the new velocity era, you know, now it's more about, you know, launch angle, exit velo, you know, spin rate, all that stuff. I mean, for a guy that's going through that, and obviously, I mean, it's been around since you've been there, but now it's so much more than what it has been. You know, how crazy is that? Sometimes is it too much information? Can a player get a packet before the game and be like, wow, no, you know, Skip, this is way too much information for me?
Yeah, I think my belief is that every guy has to really dig into it his own way. And I think that the teams that are probably the best at it, or the individuals that utilize it the best at least, are the guys that have committed to their own set of data points. Like what I like to look at before I go, and we have a lot of data, right? We have a huge front office with a lot of data, a big analytics team.
Yep.
For me, I want to know what his walk rate is. So if he's going to be a little wild, I want to know what he throws 3-2. If there's like a crazy, because I get the 3-2 a lot. And I want to know if there's a crazy percentage, like this dude's 85% sliders 3-2. Like that's something I want to know. And then obviously just general percentages of how often he's throwing pitches. And that's what I look at going up to the box for a reliever. And then obviously we do our homework on the starter, but from an offensive standpoint, I think the analytics can be really beneficial because they can tell you what your results or what the way a ball comes off your bat when you're good and when you're bad.
Right.
So like I know that when I'm good, left-handed, I'm hitting the ball in the air a lot and mostly from right center over to the foul line and left.
Killer.
And so like when I know when I'm going bad, I'm trying to back the ball up too much, not playing out front enough because I'm scared to strike out, and the ball's on the ground because I'm hitting it deep. And so I think the analytics can tell you over the course of time when, you know, some of those patterns start to come into play, and instead of having a coach go, maybe it's the back elbow, or maybe let's look at, you know, it's like, dude, you're getting the ball 6 inches deep. You got no chance.
Right.
Get it out front and hit some stuff in the air. And I think that's, you know, there's a fine line between overusing analytics and overloading with information and having a set plan of, hey, I want our analytics guy to tell me when I'm catching the ball 5 inches too deep. You know, I want him to tell me when I had a game where every ball was deep in the box and let me know that.
Yeah.
You know, I have a question. Watching you this year, from the Cardinals standpoint, how much they were worried about you, but one thing that really stood out to me, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not, it just felt like you were so smooth, and it never seemed like you were overexerting effort. And I always say that a lot about good hitters because it always really impresses me because I was just overswinging and flailing and stuff all over. But for me, when I watched you, it just seemed like you had the, like, let's call it 70%. I don't know what it was. You can tell me. It just seemed like it was smooth and the same effort, and the ball was flying 16 rows back on Waveland Avenue, wherever you felt like you needed to hit the ball.
Yeah, I mean, one of the big keys for me, and one of the things that really changed was not trying to chase exit velocity, and understanding that when I'm at my best, it's how little effort can I put into this baseball and still hit a home run.
Right.
And so I try to feel like I'm flicking the ball out of the park at all times. That's kind of my cue. So when I take batting practice, I don't really hit a lot of homers, and I know that's that's something you would tell kids to do. Like, no, don't worry about it. Don't try to hit homers. I tried to launch stuff when I was a kid. Like, that's how I got to the place where I knew, like, I can back it off, and this is what plays the big leagues, because I was taking full swings and missing fastballs by a foot because guys are throwing balls that feel like they're rising over your head. Like, I think that it took me time to realize that the best version of myself kind of plays at that effort level, and that lets me find more barrels. And I know that if I just touch it, especially at Wrigley to left center, I have a good chance over there.
Yeah. So I played with a guy like that, and that effort level was huge for him. Was Robbie Cano, right? It just seemed like everything was just effortless. I mean, still to this day, it's like that. You know who else is effortless? I look at it is a guy like Mookie Betts, right? And obviously, you're able to see what he's doing offensively, even stealing bases. He's got to be one of those guys as an outfielder that you look up to. And I guess if not, who would be one of those outfielders you do look up to?
I'll start with Mookie. I love the way Mookie plays the game. I think Mookie doesn't show anybody up. He's passionate. He loves what he's doing. He's having a ton of fun. And he does it in the right way. I absolutely love watching him. I think he understands his swing to a T. He's done a ton of work on it. And I know that he really gets the nitty-gritty of what he's trying to do. And he's just a ridiculous athlete. I mean, in right field, what he does on the bases, like, oh, God. I mean, him and Javi are like the two dudes, and Tatis probably are the guys that I can think of that just from an athletic standpoint, it's like they're
like, dude, it's almost unfair.
Like,
it's
yeah,
like
I'm like, we play the same game. Like,
exactly, bro. No doubt.
Really?
No doubt.
But as far as other outfitters I look up to, that's a really good question. I mean, I have one on my team in Jason Hayward that,
of course.
I absolutely love. And I think the other dude that I've looked up to since we played together in 17 is John Jay. I think John Jay, from a teammate standpoint, as a human, is awesome. What he taught me, his preparation, the way that he goes about his work in BP, from a defensive standpoint, in BP, like, that's how fine-tuned he is, and that dude taught me a ton. So I love watching him, playing against him, and continuing to pick his brain because he's a superstar.
And you
brought up three guys that are so professional. All three guys. They don't show nobody up. They don't flip the bats. They don't pump it because they're so good. They don't have to do that. They just play the game the right way. And I'm glad that those are your examples, because there's no need to flip bats. And
Tino don't like them bat flips, dog. He don't like them flips, dog.
That's old school.
Fun and stuff, whatever. But the good guys, the guys that are really good like that, they don't have to do that. I mean, Mookie Betts doesn't do it. Jason Hayward doesn't do it. Those guys don't do that because they know they're good enough and they're going to hit home runs, and that's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're getting paid for. So that's a great example. And if I give you one piece of advice, you said you choke up a hair in the bat, and it helps you hit more home runs and stuff here and there. You need to choose strikes, man. Just shorten your stride just a little bit. Don't change anything, and practice it in BP. Like, almost go no stride in BP and see how far you hit the ball. It's amazing how far you can hit the ball with no stride and choke up the bat. You'd be surprised, and you can see the ball a lot better, and it makes you so much more quieter at the plate, and the ball gets deeper, and you'll have much more success as well.
I love that.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going
That's a pro hitting coach. That's a pro hitting coach right there.
I love that.
I did that, Justin. No stride, small stride, man. It works. The ball goes far.
And you've talked a little bit about what you're doing, like what you think about when you're doing well at the plate, and also when you're doing poorly, the ball's getting a little too deep. What do you do when the ball is getting a little too deep? What do you do to correct that?
Yeah, I think that's probably the toughest thing is trying to get the ball out front, right? Because that's kind of the faux pas, is like, we can't go out there chasing balls out front. Things can get real ugly real quick. And I think that having an understanding of taking one at bat or two at bats to say, all right, this guy throws 95 with ride and he's bringing it. I'm going to go get him and I'm going to yank something foul. Like I'm going to go out and get it. If he throws a 45-foot breaking ball, I'm going to look like an idiot, but as long as I'm convicted to my plan, like I'm okay with it. And I think that like having that understanding of who you are as a hitter and knowing that that's what's going to get you right is huge. And for me, it's not necessarily trying to hit the ball super far out front all the time or like making bad decisions early. I make better decisions when I start early. And that's what gets me on time. I don't ever have issues with swinging it at bad pitches in and out. Like I have pretty good discipline for the strike zone. So I know that if I get started early, I'm gonna find the barrel and make some pretty good decisions.
I love that, bro. I feel like your overall philosophy to the game and the adjustments you've made in the early part of your career, I think is awesome, bro. And I guess we're so proud of like the adjustments you made because, bro, you're badass now, dog. Like you're an everyday center fielder in the big leagues, bro. So I just wanted to tell you, bro, like, thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like everything that you've talked about for myself, I've gained a lot of knowledge even about the game today, some adjustments that I can help with my young kids because dealing with adversity is one of the hardest things to do in baseball, bro. And you've taken that adversity and turned it around and turned yourself into a future all-star, bro. We're so happy that you came on the show, my man. Thank you so much. Enjoy your off season, my man. Hey, and then next year, bro, hopefully you're playing in this game.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, fellas. That was great. Thanks so
All right,
much.
Happer, take it easy, baby. Good to see you, bro.
Have a good one.
Thanks, bud.
I mean, bro, like, come on, dude. Like, that's the guy you want to root for, right?
Love
you know
it.
what I'm saying? Like, how do you not want to root for a guy like Ian Happ, bro? He comes up, has an unbelievable first season, right? Like he said. And then all of a sudden he runs into a brick wall. But what does he do? He doesn't go down to the minor leagues and become a nobody and be like, you know what? I'm a big leaguer. I should be back in the big leagues. He took it on the chin, went down, worked on the things that he had to work on, and look at him right now, bro. I think he had like 12 or 13 bombs this year, right? Like playing center field. Oh, bro, in Wrigley? Come on, bro. Switch hitter?
You know what I've taken away from a lot of listening to you guys talk and just listening to him talk and even myself, there's so much that goes into it, having just confidence in the people around you. And you talk about him, you know, he had a good year. The next year, I believe it was 18, he leads off the year with a homer. The next day he doesn't play. That sits with you mentally. And you know, it's like all of you guys have a story like that, like just having the confidence in you. And I think about myself personally. In college, I was playing only against lefties, and then one day my manager comes up to me and goes, "Hey Ben, you know, we're facing all righties this series. You're gonna play every single day." That first game, Friday night of the series, I hit 3 home runs in that game and never looked back for the rest of my college career. So it almost seems like at a certain point it becomes so mental, and just having somebody that's confident in you helping you succeed. Am I right?
Totally. Well, I mean, there's no doubt about that, bro. I mean, like you said, I think confidence is absolutely crucial. I think you've got to be able to have that. But I tell you who does have confidence right now, that's Walker Buehler, bro. I mean, like, come on, we've kind of gotten away from the game because we were able to have Ian Happ on. But, bro, Walker Buehler is kicking ass right now. Like, it looks like it's almost like too easy for a guy like Walker Buehler tonight.
I hate to say this, but now that, you know, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, I feel like I can pretty much sign off, and I'll just check in with you guys tomorrow. We can start with
Yeah, no doubt. We just shut this game down and go to game 4 or what, bro? You know what I mean?
I don't want to give up on Ian Happ, man. What a great like year, what he's found, like to hear him talk. I just want to reiterate that because, you know, I work for the Cardinals. I do some stuff there. I get to see a chance to see him like crush us. And I'm such a huge fan. I didn't get a chance to say that to him. But hey, Ian, man, good luck. Keep it going. Can't wait.
Hey guys, I got a guest. I got a guest that's gonna come on real quick. She wants to say hello. She wants to say hi to you guys. Tino. Tino, you know.
I'm in spa mode. I should not be speaking. By the way, I just got our love sign, our astrological love sign. I have so many notes for you, babe.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, so when the game's over,
I got
we're
it.
going to have a whole recap. I'll email all you guys. We can do this later.
Perfect.
Oh, we came up here with our best friends, the Animals, bro. Like, it's been an awesome trip, dude. I've never had the chance to come to a place like Miraval, but to be able to come up here and relax. By the way, have you ever slept in a Miraval bed?
I
All right, love you too, sweetheart. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys when we're done. I'm not even lying, bro. It's like a cloud. I swear to God, it's like a cloud. I got in it today, and I was like, I've never, ever, ever slept this well in my life.
Wow.
100%. So I'm saying, man, anybody out there checking out Mirrorball beds, they're badass, dude. No doubt about it.
That's saying a lot, though, because none of us here believe you even sleep. So that's a compliment.
I mean, just a little bit, bro. Just a little bit, man.
No.
I don't ever get tired. Just a little sleepy, Tino. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that was awesome, man. You know, it's so great too.
What a great young player.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I think just in general, I think for us, we kind of get away from the game and bringing on guests. And by the way, I love it. I think that's the best part about this is learning so much from, finding out what people are doing, right? Like how much they enjoy the game, whether it's Charlotte Wilder or it's Ian Happ or it's, Jake Odorizzi or whoever, man. Like being able to have, these people that come on and enjoy this time with us, bro. I think it's just so awesome. And a matter of fact, we got another guy I'm going to introduce you to right now. He's a silver medalist back in 2004 in Athens, right? He reached number 7 in the world rankings in tennis. He is currently the U.S. Davis Cup captain. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up, Marty Fish!
Tino!
Marty,
what's up, baby?
How are you?
It's been forever, dude.
I know, but I've seen you on TV playing golf now, winning all those little championships. Are you 50 years old yet? 'Cause you turned 50, you got to be on the tour, man.
I need that senior tour card.
Yeah, you do. You have it. You're unbelievable. How you been doing, all right?
Dude, great, man. How are you? Are you in Tampa?
I'm still in Tampa, yeah.
I missed you, buddy.
I know, man. It's always good to see you, man. I follow you here and there, especially on the golf course now on TV.
Oh, bro, well, it's hard not to, bro.
I need to get some of that Yankee money on the golf course.
I'm not playing you, man.
It's some of that World Series money, kid,
There you go.
Well, Marty, we got Ben. I mean, I know you and Ben, you guys go way back. I mean, I know you guys, you were tight with Justin as well. So, hey, bro, like, what's that VB you got on your hat right there, bro? What is it?
Okay, so this is as close as I'll get to wearing anything Dodgers. This is the Vero Beach Dodgers, where I grew up, and their spring training. This is the like single A Dodgers affiliate. It used to be. Bro. It used to be, and it took me forever to track this hat down on the internet. And I finally tracked it down, and I just pulled it out for occasions like this.
It looks good, bro. Well, I mean,
I figured I shouldn't wear my Astros hat right now,
You're a Minnesota guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna wear that too, but this is.
I was gonna say for everybody at home watching, my guy Marty's a monster Minnesota guy. Whether it's the Vikings, the Twins, you name it, Timberwolves. This guy is Minnesota through and through. I mean, you're going through a little, what did you think about the Twins this year, bro? I felt like they had an amazing year last year. They back it up this year. They just couldn't get it done.
Last year was the funnest year that I can remember as a fan. So, 162 games, hit more home runs than any other team. So, as a fan, it was the funnest year for me, the most fun. This year was cool as a baseball fan because, I loved the 10th inning runner on second rule. I loved the 7-inning doubleheaders. I think they should do those 7-inning doubleheaders going forward for sure. I don't know about me personally, I love the runner on second to start because I think it adds to how many arms you have in the bullpen. But we had a great, we started great and then we had a great year. Josh Donaldson got hurt a little bit. So but he was, it would have been nice to have him in the postseason. But we only scored 2 runs in the postseason. The postseason for some reason is just a bugaboo. And I can't believe it's been 18 straight games. Half of them are probably you and Tino, and it probably goes back to Tino, God forbid. He was probably he's part of that.
But still, back then we beat them back then in the postseason, but they've always had great teams. It wasn't like a rollover. It was like we had to play them hard. They had good pitching. They were well coached with Tom Kelly and Gardenhire.
Radke back in the day, and
the Eminem boys, Maurer and Morneau, for sure.
I think it's more psychological now. They want to get that once they get that first W in postseason off their back, because it's in the media every day, both Minnesota here and there, and the news every night. You all watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Once they get that first W,
it'll go away.
I was thinking this was the year too because they didn't have Houston didn't have Cole and they didn't have Justin, so like I felt like, you know, this is our year, and then we scored 2 runs.
Marty, you're such a good, you're such a good friend of our families, of mine and Justin's. I'm sure you were rooting for the Astros to beat the Twins, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, now that Justin wasn't, you know, he was hurt and he wasn't on the team anymore. I root for his individual success.
Right.
And then Ben, I mean, the last game that I went to see him live, you were with me down in Anaheim, and he went like 8 innings. He went 8 innings, and then I left. I'm like, I'm done.
100%. You just left.
I'm good. I'm done. Like, I'm not going to go in after and see him. So like, my work is done. I'm out of here.
Marty, as an avid baseball fan, bro, I know you love the game just as much as you love tennis, golf, the whole nine. When you see somebody like Walker Buehler out there in the zone tonight, I mean, how devastating does a pitcher like that look?
To me, the thing that stands out right now is his fastball. The thing just like it looks like it keeps rising, and it's like gaining speed as it hits the batter. So I mean, he looks almost unhittable. I love Charlie Morton too. Watched him in 17 when the Astros won there, and he was so good out here in LA. Actually, it was Game 7, I think, out here in LA where they had Justin and Garrett in the bullpen, like waiting to come out. At least Justin for sure. Ben, he was out. He was in the bullpen, ready to go. So that was cool. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I got to throw. Last off season, before the 2019 season, Justin texts me or calls me. And he's like, "Hey, I need someone to throw with." And I'm like, "Cool, I got a glove." And what's up, Rick? I got a glove, and so I can catch. I used to play in Little League, right? So like I'm good. Let's play some catch. No problem, right? So I go. And I'm like, we're 30 feet away, and he's just getting warmed up, and he's throwing like harder than my dad throws, and it's coming, and it feels like it's coming like at my face, and I'm sort of getting out of the way, and come to know after the fact, Justin was like, I felt like I was gonna hit you in the face on every throw, but he goes into like center field. And I'm on the left line. Yeah, the foul line. He's in center field. He's like, 200 feet away. A frozen rope line drive from there. And I'm like, I dropped like 3 of them. Like, I can't even, I mean, I like, how can anyone stand in there with this guy? I mean, absolutely insane. So that's what his fastball looks like right now.
Marty, I got a question for you. So I know you obviously live in LA. We're watching the Dodgers play here. My brother lives out there in the off season. What is, and he told me a story from you guys going out to lunch one day, and I know a little bit here and there about the story, but clear this up for me. Something happened to you guys at lunch together in LA.
Yeah. So what happened was, it was my lunch, his breakfast, him and Kate. Their breakfast, because they didn't have baby Vivi at the time, so they were sleeping until noon, which is like, I guess, normal for him and for baseball players. And so I'm like, let's go to lunch. Let's go to like Sugarfish or like a sushi place or something like that. And he's like, nah, let's go somewhere we can get like breakfast or lunch. I'm like, that's weird, but whatever. So we go to like the most posh place in LA that he picks, which is like the Beverly Hills Hotel, Polo Lounge. It's ridiculous, right? It fits perfect for Justin, like he fits right in. So I get there first, and you got to put your name down and put your name, and like we get a table, and I order like a $45 salad, and he orders like breakfast, and Kate orders breakfast. I can't remember. And so the bill comes, and I'm thinking like, how do I get the, because I'm sitting on the edge, Justin's in the middle, and Kate's on the other side, and the waiter hands the bill on my side, like in the front, and I'm thinking like, how the hell am I gonna get this from right here on the right side of me all the way to the middle of the table so Justin can pay for it, right? Like, how is this gonna work? So like I'm fixing with my elbows, and like it just kind of creeps his way and somehow makes his way over to Justin. So he grabs it and he puts his credit card down. And then again the guy hands it to me, and I'm like, I open it, and it's got this like all these like weird numbers, and like he's got something circled on it, and he opens it, and so Justin opens it up, and to his credit, he did pay for lunch. The guy, the waiter put $1 million on there, but like as a joke, $1 million, Dodger killer.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this. You were there at lunch with him?
Yeah, that was so he paid $1 million and like $300 for breakfast last night.
Hey, so you brought up Buehler's fastball, Verlander's fastball, right? Just rises. Like, for a left-handed hitter, for me, I just liked it low. I couldn't stand that crap.
Yeah.
Anybody who served like that in tennis, possibly, that is just hard to defend like that. Somebody that had so much that rose like that.
Yeah, you know who was great at that was Andy Roddick. Like his serve, dude, like. And he was like in the early 2000s, like 03, 04, 05, those were like his kind of best years where he was competing almost outside of the French. He felt like he could win every slam. He was right there except for that dude, Federer.
That guy.
Except for him. And it turned out that Federer won every one. But Andy, like back then, man, his fastball, which was like 150 miles an hour. He would go up the tee at you, dude. He hit me one time, Rick, with a serve. He goes body, like 40 love or something. It doesn't matter, and he tries to hit you with it. He'll try to hit you, like he'll serve body, and he'll try to hit. And he got me like multiple times. He hit me with it. So, like,
let me ask you this: what do you think your fastball, or Sampras or Roddick's, because it is the overhand motion? What do you think they can throw a fastball at? What miles per hour?
Pete was probably the best at that. Like he would have been the highest. I don't know, in the 80s. Like I understand that like that you can't like.
I don't know.
Someone can't just grab a baseball and just throw 90 miles an hour.
It's a different motion.
It's like you got to get. But I understand what your point is. So Sampras would have been the best at that. Yeah, Sampras would have been the best at that because he had this like uncanny ability to sort of coil his shoulder, and this arm could go like way back down here when he served. And if you paused like his serve, when he served, his arm is like down here, and no one was really like that. So like he was like Gumby a little bit, like with his serve. He's probably the best like overall. Sampras had the best overall serve. I was super lucky to play him one time in 2001, which I was like 18 years old or 19 years old, and that was like one of his last years. And he kicked my ass, but it was cool to just like be on the court with that and sort of feel like his serve, because it's historically the best second serve ever, and then 1-2 punch was just incredible.
In baseball you would have wanted to face just to see what it's like,
a pitcher.
Any of them, bro. Any of them.
You know what? I've been lucky enough. So AJ Ellis is a good friend of mine. When he played for the Dodgers, and AJ's this huge tennis nerd, right? So I got to throw out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium, which was super cool for me. And here comes AJ coming up, and I don't know who AJ is really. I mean, other than it says Ellis on the back of his jersey. And he's super nice. Him and Mike Borzello, he's like a bench coach for the Cubs now. So those guys were like these huge tennis nuts. So they actually set it up to where I was able to take BP at Dodger Stadium, which is one of the coolest experiences of my life. But at that day, I met Clayton Kershaw, and I got to throw with Clayton like in the outfield, just normal catch, so not like Verlander catch, like normal catch. And dude, the ball out of his hand. I don't know if you guys have like hit. Swish, you've hit against him for sure. Rick, you've probably hit against him too. I mean, it's so weird.
I didn't hit against him.
Yeah.
He was in the box against him.
It's so weird, like how the ball leaves his hand. It's like it's not normal. And it was like I was thinking he's throwing 20 miles an hour to me. I'm thinking, how does anyone hit this guy? Sure enough, at the time, nobody did. Nobody
Hey,
did.
so we were actually did a little research right here. We actually have the receipt from that lunch.
Oh,
that
there you
guys
go.
had
Yeah.
Right here. Here it is right here, $1 million for an open miscellaneous Dodger killer.
There you go. Hey, see, it says fish. It says fish on the receipt. I'm thinking like, is this mine?
I saw that $42 salad you got right there, though, bro, for sure.
That's why I was like, how can I get this thing over a little bit to the middle of the table where like Miss Upton or Mr. Verlander can take care of this? Because little old tennis player, we didn't make that kind of money, you know.
So Marty, I mean, I know you and Stacy, you guys have, obviously you have a family of your own, right?
Yeah.
You have your kids, and when you're watching games like this, we've talked a lot about, we were talking about confidence, and we were talking about leaders that he looks up to. You being an ex-athlete, and still, U.S. Davis Cup captain, which I think is so badass, bro. I think you're so good for those young guys. But even for your kids, like what sort of leaders, especially in the baseball world right here, are there leaders that you kind of tell your kid, like, hey, bro, look at this guy, like maybe sort of be like him?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like, I've got a 6-year-old boy who loves sports. He's a little golfer. He's a crazy little golfer.
Oh, bro, a badass golfer, bro.
He's got a better swing than Marty does already.
From the right side.
Dude, I'm holding him off forever. But he thinks he can already beat me. But anyways, yeah, I mean, we watch a lot of golf on TV because he loves golf. We watch a lot of football because we're big Vikings fans. I've been lucky enough to become good buddies with like Adam Thielen. Just like good people, good guys that compete like crazy. Have good attitudes. I'm gonna change the channel if somebody's got a bad attitude or something like that, just for him. I don't care. I watch him, but just for him, just to kind of see that stuff. I don't want him to sort of watch that and go, that's cool or that's normal. So we've been lucky enough to sort of watch Uncle Sergio or something like that on the golf course, or Uncle Justin on the baseball diamond, and we can you can, it's fun, but right, because like he sort of watches and knows, hey, I know, like that's like normal, that Ben and Justin come over and watch a Cowboys game.
Yeah, right.
But they would come over and watch a Cowboys fan. That's like normal for him, which is not normal at all. So so it's cool, man. And you know how you've got beautiful kids, and like we, it's just fun to sort of have him love sports. My greatest work as a father is having him watch Vikings games with me and like root for the Vikings. It's my greatest achievement as a dad.
Peterson to the house.
I will say, Marty, and obviously, so Justin and I did go over, and I'm a huge Cowboys fan. Justin kind of roots for him, but Marty and Beckett are both huge Vikings fans, and we go over there one night as Cowboys Vikings, and it was a huge matchup. But just to get over there and see like Beckett wearing the Vikings jersey and Marty like together, it's really cool. Like, you've done a hell of a job as a father, and just to see his golf swing and just just to see how much he models after you is pretty cool, Marty.
It's the same. Sorry, dude. Sorry to cut you off. It's the same thing. Like when I was a kid, I remember 1991. The Twins won the World Series then against the Braves, and I remember sort of waking up because I never stayed that late. I never stayed up that late, right? So like I couldn't. I could never watch the end of the games on the East Coast. So I would always wake up and say, Dad, did the Twins win? And I remember one summer him saying yes, like all the time. And that ended up being 91. I was like 10 years old or 9 years old or something. So that's my first memory of sort of father, son, and sports, and, and the Twins and baseball. And so my dad and I still, to this day, we talk during the Vikings games, during, Twins season and all that stuff. And we love it. We love it.
So Marty,
I got a question for you. Go ahead, Rick.
I'm sorry. You bring up against the Braves. So Kirby Puckett, your top 3, 5 as a Twins player, where does he stand? Because
Joe Mauer will be number 1. just with like the St. Paul. Like I'm from Minnesota and he's from Minnesota, so he's my favorite baseball player ever. We used to eat, because I was born in Minnesota, like I said. So like we used to eat Kirby Puckett pancakes for breakfast. Like there were these pancakes that my grandma and granddad would buy, and they'd make them for us, and they were called Kirby Puckett pancakes in this like big sack thing. And so I remember doing that when I was like 5 years old, man. So I've been a fan of Minnesota sports since I can remember.
Awesome.
Marty, you talked about getting the opportunity to take BP at Dodger Stadium. Yep. How did that go? And follow up, did you hit any balls out?
Thank you for bringing that up, Ben, because I didn't mention that when it didn't happen. But in fact, I hit 7 home runs that day. 7 home runs, but they were all pulled way over in the corner. I'm a lefty. So all pulled way over in the corner, like basically foul pole. But you know that little short porch there at Dodger Stadium where the fence is like this high and it comes way in? Like I hit a bunch there. But I mean the guy was so nice. I think it was Trey Hillenbrand. Is that a
Yep.
So he threw meatball after meatball after meatball. And I went way before the actual players were out there. This was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I had like all the time. I felt like all the time in the world, and I was dead tired, but I would not stop. I mean, I had blisters on my hands and stuff, and I'm like, I'm never going to get this chance again. So I'm going to go until they pull me off the field, right? So I go for like 20 minutes hitting balls, which feels like, forever. Not taking any breaks at all, and I'm just swinging away until Trey would stop.
Mm-hmm.
So that was honestly one of the coolest things I've ever been able to do.
I gotta say this because it was good advice. And Swish, I'm sure you've heard this too. I know you have. It's not how far, it's how many.
It's how many.
I haven't heard it, but I love it.
Hey, I gotta jump in right there. Rays just got their first hit of the game. I almost said earlier, Walker Buehler had a no-hitter, but then you guys would have been like, oh, man, you jinxed it again, bro. You jinxed it. But I just want to say right there, Manny Margot with the first hit of the game for the Rays.
That guy's on fire. That guy's on fire.
Walker Buehler is.
Man, that guy's playing well, Margot, and some dude named Randy. I play fantasy baseball. I've never heard of Randy Arozarena. Like before this series, like before the playoffs, like dude, I hadn't even heard of him. The guy's, you can't get him out. It's amazing.
Not either.
Well, he was amazing, obviously, in the championship series. He's struggling a little bit in the World Series as of right now, but I think just in general, I think you're such a fan of the game. When you're watching a team like the Tampa Bay Rays play and the joy that they bring to the ballpark with them every day, how much fun is it watching somebody like that?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool like to have small market teams do well, because like being from Minnesota and like, it's like the NBA, T-Wolves, we can't get any players unless you draft one. Like no one's going to sign there. So that's why it was really cool for the Twins this year to sign Josh Donaldson, because like we never signed that guy. And we never signed that big pitcher, and we never, open up the checkbook really. And so it was really cool, so we've always really been like a small market team. So I enjoy watching teams like the Rays where they just, they're not going to pound the ball and hit and, score 10 runs a game. Although I wish the Dodgers didn't have 5. I had the first 5 under 3.5. I've already had 5. So.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be an under game too. I didn't think Charlie Morton was going to give up the runs. Yeah. But, talking about, something that we don't really normally see in the game of baseball anymore is small ball, right? I mean, we saw a bunt in a World Series game for an RBI. Like I would have, if that would have been some sort of a bet, somebody would have won like 100-to-1 odds on something.
Yeah.
Didn't it look like Choi could have gone home there though with that ball and kept it at 3? He could have kept it at 3, and then it would have been under 3, and I could have won my bet.
Marty, the thing about it was the guy squared around before the pitch forward. He squared around and took it. How is he not getting closer up there to get that guy at home plate? They did it again.
He had time though. I feel like if you watch the replay, like he had like Rick's shaking his head. He had him, dude. He easily gone. And then
Dusty Baker did it with the Astros in one of the games against the Rays, and they won that game. It was a great move. And tonight, so the analytic guys, the metric guys they're cringing right now, going like, oh.
They're saying
both bunts by catchers, by the way.
As you know, in today's game, right? They just tested to see what he didn't move. They're like, they definitely
move. I mean, he didn't move. He squared up and he put back and he up there.
If somebody did, you're at first back in the day, somebody did that, even barely moved, you were already creeping in and ready to
How
go.
many creep in 3 or 4 feet to make him swing the bat? That's easy run for them.
Well, by the way, I mean, maybe people are realizing like they can go back to it, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think bunting is so crucial. Those are the little things that end up opening up games. It happened for the Astros when Maldonado laid that bunt down, and it happened for the Dodgers right there when what was it, Barnes laid that bunt down? I mean, that's beautiful baseball, bro. Like sometimes you have to make things happen.
We're not talking about winning games in June, July, and August. We're talking about winning games in October. Most importantly, those small ball wins games in October.
As a starting pitcher in the Cardinals organization, George Kissel, one of the biggest legends that there ever is in the Cardinals organization. I had to be at the stadium at 6 o'clock because we were going to work on bunting. I did, Matt. He's like, I don't care how good you bat, kid. Get the runner over. You never see 2 ducks in the goose. Like he had all these things. It didn't matter. It was the most, but you would learn the greatest lessons you ever learned. And I learned how to bunt. It didn't matter how good I could hit. Yeah, I learned how to bunt. He was like, you're not going to leave here till you know how to bunt. And it means a lot. It does.
But you know what's crazy too is like watching during the regular season and seeing like those 10-inning games, and then they never bunt them over. They would never do it.
They're still first and second, no outs. They're still swinging away.
Yeah, I mean it's just changed. You guys are Rick and Tino and Swift. You guys are probably going crazy over like you can't play like that. My father-in-law, who used to play a long time ago, he's like he can't believe it. He's like he wants a bunt on every play. I'm like sure. There's 2 outs, dude. You can't bunt right now. Can't move over.
Right?
Hey, if the boss don't say you can do it, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Well, by the way, that's why they're bringing DHs into both leagues, player, right? Like, at the end of the day, hey, Rick, I love you, bro. I love that you were a pitcher, bro. But I don't want to see no pitchers coming up with the bases loaded. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see that.
But you know what you do want to see is somebody bunting because the shift's on and that wins you a ball game. There's nobody in this room who doesn't want to wear a ring.
I know. I'm with you. I'm with you.
And that's what it comes down to. So we need to take the ego out of it or something out of it.
Absolutely.
There's a run there. There's a run there for the Rays. 5-1 ball game.
Yeah,
Good about
you know, how many rings do you have?
4.
4.
But Joe Torre was a big bunch. We had the catcher bunt. American League team. I'm not talking about our pitchers. American League team, we had the 8th night. They bunted all the time. The next guy base hit. Easy runs.
Well, by the way, it's nice to see the Rays kind of get going a little bit, get their first hit of the game, get their first run of the game. It's nice to see, man, because ain't nobody want to see a blowout, right? I don't think anybody I'm just like everybody else. I didn't think the Rays were going to come off game 2 the way that they did because they came out and played amazing, right? I mean, obviously pitching is the X factor for this series. And, you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, whose bullpen's going to get worn down? Because I do think this series is going to go deep. I definitely think it's going to go 6 or 7 games, hopefully 7. Bro, I'd love to do this show 7 times with you guys, bro. Let's go.
You
know what I mean? Have guests like Marty Fish on every night. Let's do this.
You called this. Morton's still pitching, right? They're still trying to get the most out of Morton to save that bullpen. Tino, you were right on that.
Yeah, no, Morton's out. Morton's out already, which is, he's out. But that's a good move though. You give him a chance to go on, but he's out, and now you got Buehler here, and you got 80, 90 pitches now. So.
Yeah, 74 pitches, T.
Swish. Hey, Swish and Rick, let me ask you guys this question as outfielders. So Kiermaier was just hitting there. What's your initial reaction when I tell you this? Obviously, Kevin Kiermaier, one of the best center fielders in the game, if not the best. Nominees for Gold Glove in center field are Byron Buxton, Ramon Laureano, and Luis Robert. No Kiermaier. Thoughts?
Disappointing. I definitely think Luis Robert definitely came on the scene this year with the White Sox and blasted off. I mean, Marty, you've seen him against your Twins, bro. He's absolutely – and by the way, he wears number 88, which I think is badass.
I
think it's so
He's going to be a problem for a long time.
Yeah. I think it's like I think if you want to win that Gold Glove, I think you got to hit a little bit too. And I think maybe at that point, maybe Kiermaier's not at that level. I got to look at the numbers. I'm just thinking, I don't think of Kevin Kiermaier as an offensive threat. I think of him as a guy that can save me multiple runs every single time he takes the field. So I think maybe it's changing up a little bit. I think this year is kind of crazy. It's 60 games. They're handing out all the awards, which I think is awesome. But at the end of the day, I saw a couple people on the on the Gold Glove thing where I was like, huh? Are you sure this guy should be on there, bro? Like, did we not play enough games for you to get to look at it?
Buxton's the best center fielder, for sure.
Yeah, so my answer to that is I think it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I've always felt for a long time that sometimes guys get on there when they don't deserve to get on there if they've won multiple Gold Gloves ahead,
Yeah.
And I did always feel like, if you have a great year, like you deserve to be on there. But all of a sudden this year, it almost seems like, and I'll be the bad guy, it just feels like baseball's trying to promote players that people don't watch. And it's become a little bit political. I will say I do like the Players' Choices Awards more because those are the guys that are down there on the field. Sure. These guys play every day. And though I'm not saying that the others don't count. I'm just saying when the players vote, those are the guys that see those guys every day. And I do respect that.
What's the Gold Glove voted on? Is it the media? Same thing as?
Yeah, I think the writers. Yeah, I think
Baseball Writers Association.
Yeah, baseball writers for sure. Yep.
Obviously, Marty picks Buxton. He's biased.
Yeah, Buxton's the best center fielder of all time.
That guy can go get it.
Dude, he's
of all time, he said, bro.
And he started hitting this year. That guy's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem next year.
Yeah, so Swish, I agree with you too, man. Like you're right. Like, but the deal is like the whole defensive award is supposed to be for defense, right? So I shouldn't have to hit, and I know you feel this way too. I shouldn't have to hit to win it. I agree. Lineup because I can go be the defensive guy, and for some teams they need that publicly so their fans don't get on them about keeping that guy.
Right.
It's a working relationship, but you should be rewarded for what you do and what you put yourself in a position to win, not because you don't do something else.
Right. Yeah, totally, man. I think, defensive runs saved are it's such a huge stat. I think, you better either be driving them in, scoring them, or saving them. One of those three things you better be doing, right? If you want to be playing in the big leagues nowadays. And, I think right now, this is kind of one of those situations where we've seen the Tampa Bay Rays have played unbelievable defense. The Los Angeles Dodgers have played unbelievable defense. I think there hasn't been a whole lot of miscues. The one I can remember is like Kike Hernandez on that ground ball. But other than that, I don't think there's been a whole lot of, blunders throughout this time. We've seen Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, these guys robbing home runs. Willie Adames has been absolutely phenomenal on the defensive end. So I think nowadays is, you're asking your guys, not only do you need to hit, I need you to play defense as well.
Yeah.
Swish, did you when you guys played did you have like an outfield where you were like, man, like I can't find grass, like period. These guys run and get it left, right, and center.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, I'm even thinking back in the day. I'm thinking the Tampa Bay Rays. They had like Joey Gathright out there in center field, bro. That was the dude that was jumping over cars back in the day. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was just like jumping over cars in the parking lot, and that was before like Instagram really hit it big. If not, dude, he would have blown up for something like that. But I just remember being those outfields, and even an outfield like the Anaheim Angels back in Torrey Hunter, even the Twins when Torrey Hunter was in center field, bro. I mean, like on that turf, it was like, bro, I hit a ball in the gap. I'm like, I should be standing on two. Torrey Hunter's like in his back pocket running balls down. So it's like those guys, almost once in a generation type defenders. And for you guys in Minnesota, you guys have been spoiled with center fielders throughout the day, bro. Think Kirby Puckett, T-Nuts, bro, Torrey Hunter, right? And now you've got Byron Buxton, who, if he can figure it out on the offensive end, which it looks like he's making a lot of adjustments to try and get there. If he could do that, bro, I mean, like, come on, with the amount of bases he can steal, as well as the runs he saves, as well as the runs he can drive in for you. I mean, he could be the next wave of all-stars coming through.
Hey, hold on. Can you guys see this?
Yeah, what is that?
This is eye drops, right? So all this is eye wash.
Yeah.
You got eye wash?
Compared to what a defensive first baseman can do for your club. Tino, I'm bringing you into this because I mean this.
Hey, it's big.
More important than a first baseman who can pick a ball, do something, because your whole infield as a pitcher, and I mean this from a pitcher standpoint, that means I can throw to the zone, get my ground balls, because I know my infielder is going to be erratic, and if you're over there and you can pick, it's a game changer.
Yeah. No, I
you erratic, Rick? No way, bro. You had pinpoint control, bro.
I got called up in 1990, 91, or so, whatever. And even back then, it was the big guy, the big DH guy who couldn't play anywhere else. They put him at first base. Steve Balboni, big sluggers that they had to put out there, those kind of guys. And then all of a sudden, as years went on, it became a defensive position. Keith Hernandez, those guys established it and made it a big difference where teams weren't paying money for a first baseman. They thought it was just you can throw anybody there. When you have a guy there who can pick the ball out of the dirt, Rick, like you said, save runs, save you pitches. I mean, it's consistently balls in the dirt or turn the double play, because a lot of guys can't turn the double play. A lot of first basemen will just tag first. But it is underrated position as far as like what it means in and out of the game, late in the game, fielding bunts and stuff like that. But you save your pitcher a lot of pitches, a lot of outs, and I totally agree with that.
Or keep
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right. Or can't throw it.
Yeah.
change it.
I'm trying to think like somebody like well, at least for me when I was growing up, like kind of watching guys. Remember JT Snow?
Yeah.
You know, defensively, bro, he was filthy over there at first base.
Awesome.
But I'm thinking to myself, and I'm looking at this game going on right now, and I'm thinking of another first baseman that had actually been, moved to center field. So I'm thinking that maybe the center field position is a little more, is Cody Bellinger. Because I don't think if there is somebody more athletic than him on the field, it has to be Mookie Betts. But I'm not quite sure there is somebody athletic enough to be able to play first base and center field like a guy like Cody Bellinger does. That's a rare mix of infield, outfield like that.
I'm saying if anybody can do it, it's Mookie Betts.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure.
Mookie Betts there. He'll pick it.
Yeah, he can do it.
Marty, I got another question for you. Coming in this series, we got Dodgers, we got Rays. Coming into this series, what was your prediction for this series?
The series? I thought you
Yeah.
meant like the playoffs. Twins.
Twins in 8.
I mean, the Dodgers have been so close for the last couple years. So, I mean, I would definitely say that the Dodgers probably would get over the hump here on this one. Justin just texted me and said I have bad lighting. Is that correct?
I've had that light the whole time. Don't worry
You
about
gotta
it.
get that pretty smile on there, Marty. Let's go, guys.
I see you very clearly.
Why don't we get Justin on here? What's he doing? What's he
We
dodging
gotta get
right
him
now?
on here, dude.
Yeah, I
Ben
know.
said he was gonna call him, bro. Ben said he
He's
was
got
gonna
that
call him.
he's got that big old cast on his arm. He didn't want to come on here right now.
Bro, hey,
Like
we'd
a
have so
robo
much
arm.
fun with him on here, bro. He's
He's looking like Captain Hook right now, ironically, which is who he's being for Halloween.
Hey, Marty, we talked about Torrey Hunter and the great outfielders for the Minnesota Twins back in the day. That was back in the day we used to face Pat Mahomes.
Okay, yeah.
Pat Mahomes.
Oh yeah,
With a
yes.
little-
Pat
with
Mahomes
a-
Senior.
With a little Patrick Mahomes by his side, right?
Yeah, that's right. Remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
So Ben, Marty, where is Justin? Is he going to sign on in a minute? Let's go.
I mean, I think the brother's got way more pull. So I don't know.
It's 7 o'clock on the West Coast time. He's probably at the Polo Lounge over there.
Woo! Another homer,
Oh,
boys.
Definitely at the Polo Lounge.
having a
Another
sound.
homer.
I mean, I know you
Driving
have.
around a Maserati.
Come on.
Maserati, he'd
Hey.
be pissed off. It's probably not a Maserati.
Okay.
Hey, I gotta change. I'm gonna change the subject real
Balls.
quick, and I'm only gonna say, my man Barnes right here, that's a karma bomb right there, bro. He bunted early in the game, right? Moves the runners over, comes up his very next at bat, Paya left center off Curtis, bro. That is a karma bomb right there for Barnes.
Karma. That's karma for the whole analytics department of baseball.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, bro, it's like sometimes you have to make those calls, right? Sometimes you have to do things to kind of create runs. But that just also goes to show you the type of lineup the Los Angeles Dodgers have. Because at the end of the day, bro, you can score as many as you want because the Dodgers have the ability to come right back and do the same thing that you did plus more.
Swish, Ben, Marty, you're a baseball fan. Do you guys think that a little bit of the small ball is going to circle back around, right? Getting base hits, getting guys on, or is it going to stay just launched forever with shifts? What do you guys think?
I mean, right now in the analytics, it's all launch right now in a lot of launch mode. Unless certain managers come in now, a veteran manager get a job that they can, tell the front office, hey, we need to bunt here and there. I mean, Rick, you and I both played for Tony La Russa. I mean, we had in spring training, everybody had to bunt off that machine. I mean, every single day we had the best bunting pitchers in the league. It was incredible how many games we won because of all that, right? I mean, we won Tony La Russa, Hall of Fame manager. I mean, we beat better teams than us because small ball late in the game, guys getting guys over. We won so many games.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he was actually supposed to be on the call tonight with us. You know, Tony La Russa. He had a little tech issue, so he's going to come on tomorrow. He's going to be on here tomorrow night, right? Because he said that he didn't want to miss it because he wanted to give Tino Martinez a virtual hug, bro.
That's
Through
my
the
guy,
Zoom,
man.
you know what I'm saying?
That's my guy. However, he needs help getting on this phone. There's no chance he gets on the Zoom by himself. He's got to have someone help him out.
You know what I think?
I'll say that'll be a question for him tomorrow. And Marty, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but ask him about what he thinks about not playing small ball and fundamentals. Marty.
Oh my God.
But you know what's funny though is that like where else is baseball supposed to go? Because like they've equipment wise they've sort of you can't really like you got a wooden bat and a glove like so like if I equate it to like tennis for instance. The rackets have gotten so much better. And then when the rackets got better, they went from wood to metal to graphite rackets. And now they got the rackets to a point to where you can get a ton of power in the rackets and you get max power. Now they're doing it with the string. And now the string is the racket's max power. The string is max spin. And like you can get all these different sort of hybrids of string, of gut and Luxilon and these things. So like, technology-wise, in most sports, you can continue to go, right? You can continue to sort of grow and sort of keep going. But like in baseball, you can't do that technology, like with a baseball bat, like it's just wood, like there it is. And so they've maxed out on that, obviously. And so now what is it? It's technology, it's analytics, it's like where the world is going, right? Like these GMs are smart. They're hiring people not people that have watched baseball forever, like technology people. They're hiring like administrative people that like learn analytics and stuff. And like Steve Cohen just bought the Mets. Do you think like he's going to hire the best guys from Silicon Valley?
Yeah. And he's going to bring the boys with it, dude.
Yeah.
A big GM and the big boys from Silicon Valley. He'll hire anyone to come and sort of run the numbers on like, why a guy hits it a certain way and where to pitch and all that stuff. And like that, they're sparing no expense on like the analytics technology side now.
Well, jumping on top of what you're saying, Marty, also too, man, remember these youth kids, like, bro, these kids are in the gym at like 10, 11, 12 years old. Bro, I don't think I picked up a weight, dude, until I hit high school, bro. I was like, what's going on? But these dudes, by the time they get into high school, are grown men, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like 18 years old. Bro, I've been to the MLB draft the last, 4 or 5 years for the Yankees. And when I meet these cats all the time, I'm like this. Oh, hey, man. Yeah, nice to meet you, bro. Nice to meet you, bro. They're all 6'5", 240 pounds. And I'm just like,
Tino.
Yeah, I know, bro. I'm like, dude, look at the size of these guys, bro. I call my dad every day. I'm like, Dad, what happened, bro? I'm like 5'10", sack of nothing, bro.
those same guys you're talking about, those Swish, through Little League and all that kind of stuff. None of them have ever learned how to bunt or even know how to bunt.
Ever. No.
Well, here's my point, I guess, is what I'm asking. And Marty, you made such a great point that when you look at the baseball field and you talk about where do we go? What do we do? How do we get bigger, stronger, hit it farther, put more guys on one side of the field to defend these guys, hitting it harder and faster? The one thing that seems to be the most simple is now we've moved everybody outside of the infield almost. When do we start bunting? When do we start going back to the old ways? Because as you mentioned, I'm not sure where there is to go in the baseball. Like, isn't that like just mind-boggling in a way?
I mean, I bet they're gonna like guys will start learning like that's the evolution of it. Okay, how do I beat
do that slash bunt, dude? That slash bunt.
How do I beat shifts now? Like like I'm only a pull like Max Muncy, they put like 7 guys on the right side, right? Like now, like he should honestly, to make him a better player, every rock turn over every stone. As you as an athlete and as a baseball player or whatever sport you play, you want to turn over every stone, right? So like, how do you get better, right? Like let's learn how to slap something. Yeah. Let's learn how to 2-strike slap something. Like that. Yeah. That's what I would be doing if I. But I mean, I came from an individual sport, so like, I had to do that. Otherwise, I wasn't gonna make any money. I wasn't gonna win. Like if I didn't turn over every stone to try to get better, I didn't have any teammates to rely on, and I had nobody to rely on. I had to figure it out all by myself. So like, if these guys should be doing that.
Ian Happ touched on that earlier. He said the same thing. He choked up a little bit. He just learned how to hit with 2 strikes, and
Joey Votto is really good at that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, like Marty, when did we ever think at some point all of a sudden we were going to see 4 outfielders like we do in that beer league softball we play? You know what I'm saying? Like, 4 outfielders out there. The Rays got 4 outfielders out there, bro. Like, we're, you know what I mean? Like, if you had the ability, I mean, obviously this is like a skill that like you learn to do. But for myself, when my dad was still coaching with it, I learned how to bunt from Brett Butler, right?
Guys,
like,
look who is in here. He made it.
Oh, he's in here, bro. He made it. He made it. Bro, JB, how you feeling, cuz?
You're muted.
Are you still muted? Are you muted?
You idiot. You're on mute.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There he goes. He's in.
I'm on my cell phone. You guys tagged me in. Hey. But I'm on my cell phone, but at least I got better lighting than Marty. Oh, let me turn this off, dude.
We're both hiding that ball spot, dude. Both hiding that ball spot.
That's why I got a hat on, Marty.
Hey, JV, how you feeling, bro? You feeling all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I got this thing going, but
bro. Dog, you're gonna be back bigger and badder than ever, bro. Ain't no doubt about that, man.
Hey, yeah. I got a tendon out of my leg and my arm. I got some big, strong legs, so maybe I'll be like
that you do.
Yeah, be like the rookie of the year. Like talk that thing back.
Hey.
Rosenbauger.
Right? So I know they give you the option to take the ligament out of the other wrist or the leg. Did you limp around after you took out the leg? I was scared of that because I had 2 Tommy Johns. I was afraid to not be able to walk.
I wish I had the option. Unfortunately, they looked at this little ligament in my wrist and said, "Hey, that ain't
enough."
I said, Doc, my ligament wasn't all that bad. It gave me 3,000 innings. I don't think I need something like too robust to keep going. I only want another 7 or 8 years. He's like, yeah, that thing ain't gonna happen.
That ain't gonna work, bro. That ain't gonna work.
Yo, Justin. So Marty was telling the lunch story. And the whole time he's telling that story about him moving the check over, I'm wondering, did you see Marty alligator and arming the check over to the middle of the table?
Gator arm, bro. He can't get in his pocket, bro.
That's the first thing I was thinking. Marty's sitting here saying he's trying to figure out how to scoot it over. That thing never even came close to him, and if it did, he'd look at it.
He just went like this.
I definitely didn't look at it, but I the whole time, it was some of my greatest work trying to get that thing over. Just sort of slide it over. Oh, shoot, what's that?
Hey, we all know what it looks like when you're about to jump in a cold tub, with the ice sitting on top. You just kind of look at it like, man, I don't want nothing to do with that. That was Marty looking at that check.
That's unbelievable.
He went for the big forehand and shots like a sliced over the net.
Yeah. The Dodgers lineup right now in this World Series. Is there a guy that you feel like you'd pitch around? Like, how would you attack this lineup? Because they do seem really dangerous.
Man, I always told my manager, if there's somebody you want me to pitch around, throw this up. Because that's not me. I don't want to be in that mindset, and I'm okay if you make that decision. But especially against a lineup like the Dodgers, like if a matchup comes up in a situation that you don't want me attacking that guy, then you go ahead and throw up 4 fingers and let me figure out the next guy. But, their lineup's so deep, it's really hard. If you have that mentality of like, I'm going to work around this guy, I'm going to work around that guy, the next guy is just as good, so you got to be on the attack.
Yeah, for sure. Well, JV, bro, a little question away from baseball, bro, because you know me, dude. Baseball's cool, but for you, bro, for you and Kate, you guys are parents now, bro. How awesome is it being parents?
Man, I can't tell you how fun it was listening to Marty talk about his little guy. And, man, Vivi's only 2, or she's about to be 2. So, I don't have all these experiences. I'm FaceTiming with Marty and his family and, seeing him playing outside with his kids. And you guys were dead on. He's got a better swing than Marty.
No doubt. Hands down, bro.
Come on.
Yeah. But man, she's just starting to grow up so fast, and it's so much fun being involved. And just, I was telling Kate the other day, it's like right now, the rate at which she's growing is just ridiculous. It's like every day is something new. Like, hey, how'd you figure that out? She's watching baseball. She sees everything, man, everything.
That's so awesome,
Oh, I heard one story about Ben taking you deep.
That's what he said, bro. I don't believe it happened, bro. I don't believe it happened, dog. That's what I said.
Is this true?
I've seen the video.
Shut up,
He
Marty.
got the video. He
I've
said he
seen
got
the
the video.
Man,
Hey,
Put
JB,
like
it's
video
tough
on
being
here.
good, bro.
Let's
It's
try to
hard
figure
being
out how to
good,
put
you
that
know?
video. We had the receipt from the lunch, so
I paid
put
for
the
it to
video
have.
up.
I paid for it to have it scrubbed from the internet.
Ben's got
No.
that thing on his like the front of his iPhone, dude.
No, so Ben nailed it, right? Like I do my minor league rehab, or not? It wasn't a rehab game. It was like a spring training minor league start. So, most of the team went on the road, and they gave me the option, like, hey, do you want to go to Vero Beach, or you
Oh,
want to?
hell no. I'm going to stay at home, bro.
I'm staying here in Lakeland. I'm gonna go face the boys in AAA. So I get down there, and I'm kind of like peeking around for Ben a little bit. And then the game starts. I didn't see Ben. Then the game starts, and I'm like, all right, like let's lock it in. Let's play baseball. Let me get my work done. And sure enough, like a couple innings in, next thing I know, rolling up to the plate, here comes Ben, and I'm like, oh, this is just a lose-lose for me.
Yes, bro.
A lose-lose. It's like my worst nightmare is facing Tim Tebow in spring training, because it's just a lose-lose.
Yeah, bro. You strike him out, people hate you. If you give up a knock, they
Did
say
you
you're
ever-
bad.
Exactly. So he comes up there. Go ahead, Rick.
Never think about beating him. Just right in the hip.
It definitely crossed my mind. But like I couldn't live with myself if I drilled him and like really hurt him, So
Yeah,
like,
I know, right?
yeah. So I'm like, all right, well, I can't hit him. What's the next best thing? It's like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to try to punch him out. But then I can't not throw him anything than a first pitch heater.
Like, throw him a heater, bro. Got to.
This is like I'm at that crossroads where when you face a young guy, like typically the minor league guys don't have much of an approach. No offense, Ben, I'm sorry. But like I know nothing about you, but I know you're probably hacking here. But I know I'm gonna wear it for the rest of my life if I don't throw you a fastball.
Oh, yeah.
First pitch.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yep.
So sure enough, I muster up literally the best fastball I threw all day, by the way. If you look at the velos from the whole day, that fastball was the hardest one I threw all day. And and sure enough, barrels it right center field, and
Oppo
Taco. We were using the new big league balls, so yeah, it pretty good.
There it goes.
And so he touches home plate, doesn't say a word, doesn't look at me, just keeps running, doesn't stop running, runs off of our field, gives a few high fives, and then goes back to his other backfield.
Oh, did he? Didn't even give you a second chance.
Never came back. I'm sitting here waiting for his spot to come back around, like, all right, man, all right, I got you.
Looking for you, bro. For
Never
sure.
saw him again. Never saw him again.
He was looking at the GM. Look at the GM going like, saw that? You saw that, dude?
He's hey, Mr. K-Line. You see that, Mr. K-Line? You see that?
Saw that?
Something for fans out here that are listening, right? Pitchers in general. So when I faced you, and correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like before I had 2 strikes, you threw me a changeup that was straight. And then once I had 2 strikes, it looked like the same pitch, but it had way more movement to it. Did you change the grip on a different changeup, or was I just that bad with 2 strikes?
We all know you weren't that bad with 2 strikes. I do know from listening to you now how much you like the fastball, so that probably played a little bit. But I think look, Rick, you were a fantastic pitcher. You know this. When you hit your spot, it tends to have more movement. Like I think there's certain locations in the zone that are better for certain pitches because the pitch acts better. Like a glove side down and away slider from a right-hander, you're already putting the natural angle on it. If you get it to that spot, that's why it's so nasty, not necessarily the location of it. The backdoor one, that's why I'm so impressed with guys that can like backdoor sliders, because it's naturally not as easy to get the momentum on the ball that you want. So it's probably the same thing with my changeup. I probably yanked one a little bit early that I wasn't happy with, but it's kind of one of those like, whoo, he took it, strike one, all right, now we're good, let's go. And then I get to 2 strikes and I'm like, all right, let me try that again. And I just happened to hit my spot. And typically when I did hit my spot with my changeup, it started to bite pretty good.
Okay, so you're not admitting to having a different changeup with 2 strikes.
Just for you. He had the Rick Ankiel special changeup, bro. That's what he had.
That's what you thought, though, man. That just, hey, I appreciate it.
All right, Justin, I just got a little note from our producer. I think we have a video that may or may not be ready to talk right here.
I got a marketing team. I'm going to be all over him. This shouldn't be able to
I'm all over him, bro. I'm all over him. Oh, my God. Oh, here it is. This is it right here? Oh, no way, bro. That's a fly ball. Ball right field, bro.
This is the best part.
Wind must have been gusting out, dude.
New balls.
Watch this. I touch home plate and I literally book it back to my field. Watch this.
I want to see when he hits home plate, bro. He's out of there. Hey, is that McCann behind the dish right there?
See ya.
Yeah.
What was that? Hey, JB, I got a question, bro. Because you came up in 06. And that wasn't really like the analytics side of things, right? I mean, obviously now you're still doing it, bro, knocking on the Hall of Fame door, which is so awesome, bro. So right now, like with the analytics of everything, has that helped you a whole lot? Or, bro, I mean, I feel like you've been the same pitcher from the moment you came up till now, bro. I mean, I just think now with the spin rate and all that stuff, has that really affected your game at all?
Actually a ton, yeah. I think the ability to adapt in this game is something that you need to be able to do. And I mean, from when I first came up, I actually heard a scout explain me as a young guy the best I've ever heard. And he said, when I was pitching, it looked like I was throwing a bullpen, not intensity wise, but the way I was throwing pitches, the way I used my arsenal. He was like, if he threw a bad pitch, he would just be mad that he threw a bad pitch and try to throw that pitch again. If you fouled off a heater and you were right on it, I'd get mad and I'd try to throw another heater by you. If I threw a curveball and it wasn't the curveball I wanted to throw, I would just throw another curveball just for the hell of it. As opposed to learning where I'm at now, besides just not being that hard-headed, but taking all the analytics into it, understanding what I do well, and kind of matching that with what hitters do poorly. And I feel like I've got all the answers to the test before I even start it, to be honest with you. Right. It's just a matter of execution. And the one thing I'm afraid that is going to happen if we continue to go on this path is that the players today won't ever have that feel. So, you talk a lot about pitchers pitching deep in ball games, starting pitchers going through the lineup third, fourth time. I've heard you guys on this show talk about it a few times, how the third time through, second time through, third time through, this is when this guy really gets hurt. I think if you can start to trust your instincts more and understand a little bit more in depth of how to pitch and how to get guys out with, call it an A, B, C, and D attack. If there's 2 outs and nobody on in the second inning, go to your D attack. See if you can get the guy out with the pitch that he kind of wants to hit, but he doesn't really hit a home run on. And then, if it comes down to it in the 6th or 7th, and there's a guy on third with 1 out, you go to your A.
You can go to your A stuff. Totally.
Exactly. It's not necessarily stuff, Nick. It's kind of like just like your stuff along with what I know the hitter's weaknesses are. And then trusting your instincts. The ability to get a guy out when he's looking for something else. Is something that I'm afraid is getting lost in the game right now.
Well, we even got to talk to Ian Happ earlier today, and he was talking about confidence. We were kind of talking about his path and how he had to go down to the minor leagues, and he said he found something, and that something was his confidence. For somebody like me, it's been in the batter's box against you from day one. Like, it seems like your confidence has always been there. I think for a lot of the kids at home, we talk a lot about confidence because in life, in the game of baseball, and in anything, if you walk in there half-stepping and not that full confidence, I don't ever think you're going to reach your full potential.
Man, went through it with injuries. We've all, anybody who's played any length of time, we went through it on the baseball field. It's a humbling game. And, I went through it for a couple of years there, and it's not a fun place to be. And so sometimes just hitting that reset button, getting your confidence going. And, that's where, like you said, I think that the analytics can really help you and sometimes boost you in confidence. Whether you're a hitter struggling and the manager puts you in there against a guy that he knows you match up well against, or vice versa for a pitcher who knows that his stuff matches up really well against the guy that he's facing. You end up learning things that you never do. For instance, Nick, that you kill pitches that are two-seamers and not four-seamers.
Right.
And the two homers you hit off me in the single game back in the day in Oakland were two-seamers that I threw you down and away.
Right.
And I missed my spot just a little bit, and bang, you got me twice. And in today's game, I would have never thrown you those pitches.
I know, right? Because you would have known a lot more.
I would have known a lot more. But and you played the game long enough to know that. And funny enough is the gamesmanship is different, because you would know that I know that. You wouldn't go up there looking down out over the plate against me. No chance.
Right.
Question, JV, because you've got so many guys, right? And you have that confidence in yourself. You've mentioned that. What is your favorite way to strike a guy out? To make him swing at a ball out of the zone, like let's say a curveball bouncing in the dirt, or overs, or throwing a fastball out of the zone, or freeze him on an inside pitch? What gives you the biggest ego stroke?
You kind of know you're setting me up. Right?
I was gonna say I can answer that for him, bro. For sure.
Blowing doors,
Yes, blowing brakes, bro, for real.
3-2, everybody in the ballpark knows you're throwing a heater, and you throw it right down the middle, and the guy's beat and just swings and misses and just looks at you like, man, what just happened? That's the best. It's the best.
For sure.
Especially to end the inning. You're like, you get to strut just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Love it.
We've been talking a little bit about managing, and this year, in our opinion, feel like you had one of the better managers in Dusty Baker. How awesome was he? And just to take the vibe of everything, man. He seems like he's a cool guy. The only thing we missed this year was that toothpick sticking out of his mouth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he had that mask on all day.
I wish I could tell you I was there for one start and a little bit of spring training.
I know. I was going to say, you're only there for a little bit, And
because of COVID, they had to kick me out of the locker room. I wasn't even allowed in the locker room, man.
Really?
I'm texting the boys. Yeah, I wasn't even part of the team, man. I'm texting the guys.
Oh,
I heard you guys talking about David Price and like the ring thing. You really feel disconnected during COVID because I wasn't even allowed around anybody. You see some of the teams early on, the Cardinals, the Marlins that got, a little bit of outbreaks. And, I was still part of the group text at that time. And it was, hey, everybody was standing up being like, hey, we got to take this thing serious. If you're not part of this thing, sorry, we're not gonna allow you at the field. And the boys, even when we're at home, they're not doing anything. They're staying at home. 24/7. So I really didn't get to see anybody or be that much in touch. I was texting a bunch of guys. I stayed in touch with a bunch of guys. Dusty was great. He called me a bunch, and I think he was just trying to get to know a lot of personalities at the same time. So he was kind of bouncing stuff off the wall with me. But he's fantastic. I think he was a good blend of old school and new school. And, I think that's something that is really important. You see the small ball that's happening now in the World Series when, throughout the course of 162 games, you don't see so much small ball because it doesn't play out in analytics, but all of a sudden that starts coming back.
That's what I'm saying. When you need it, it sure does look good. Totally.
Yeah. You need 1 run, 2 runs, and that all of a sudden 2 runs starts to feel like a huge gap instead of 1. You bunt the guy over,
Yeah. Wow.
But
crazy.
Hey,
I did not know.
I'm gonna run. I didn't steal Marty. Is Marty even still on here? He's been
bro. He is. He's just killing it over there, bro.
When you're talking, don't even get me started with you. Just hang up.
Marty downplayed it a little bit with the 30 miles an hour, just soft tossing to him. I started to let it go a little bit, and the second that I started to put a little something on it, that's when I was like, okay, I might
just take it back down a little bit. Take it back down. We don't want to hurt him, bro.
But he was he was all fired up. He comes out there bouncing around, like
so excited.
Like turn a double play the first one he gets, and then and I'm like, all right, Marty's a great athlete, tennis player, great hands. Yes. I went and saw one of his charity matches, and I was blown away. I never really followed tennis, but seeing it in person, I was like, man, this is
amazing, right?
Incredible what those guys do. So I'm like, all right, man, this guy's got that athletic gene. He's got nothing. First one, I put a little extra on,
And I mean, you see it like he's got his glove right here, and it's just like the last second, he puts his glove up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna tone it down just a little bit. I'm not trying to.
There's a little red button in the corner. It says leave. Click it.
All right. Good being on, guys.
Thanks for calling in, brother. So good to see you, my man. Hey, heal up quick, bro. We'll see you back out there.
Palm Beach, bud.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll see you out there. Maybe play some golf in like 6-7 months.
I was gonna say, you get that thing right first, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. Peace, baby. Good to see you, bro.
See you guys.
See you, buddy.
Oh, that was legit, bro. I'm so happy you called in, dude. That's legit. Because you, Ben, Marty, bro, you guys can go back and forth, dog. That's great, man. I mean, it's funny, man. It's like, I know we kind of take it for granted because, at least for myself, I've seen him since 06, right? Like, I've seen him since jump. But, like, bro, we're just talking to, like, a future Hall of Famer. Like, that's pretty cool, right? To, like, you're going to be able to tell your kids, like, damn, man, like, I played against that guy or I played with that guy. I mean, bro, however many strikeouts he's going to end up with, bro, I know I was a heap of them, bro. I know I was a whole heap of them for sure.
I think the people out there watching this entire cast here the last couple of days, they've watched all this stuff here, they really didn't believe that it was his brother. So Justin, I mean, Ben had to prove it was his brother. That's why he came on.
That's why he brought him on.
Man. That's why he came on.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
That's amazing, man.
And I'm so glad I got to see the swing because look, there's not a lot of people, especially back a couple years ago, that went oppo. And when I always talk about having that smooth stroke, you smooth stroke that thing to the trees.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to be like, Ben, you damn near 6'5", bro. You put a little leverage on that thing, bro.
To be totally honest, that's like the one home run I've hit my whole career. That's the one I hit to the right or right
center. Only one, bro.
So either there was some adrenaline pumping or that thing you brought up about the baseballs might be a little true there, but
we obviously don't need to figure out who's the best looking Verlander brother. By the way.
Oh man, but you're right, bro.
I knew Marty coming on was going to be our best guest. Let's go.
I will ride him forever. I will ride that boy forever, dude.
That's fantastic.
I got to give him 6 or 7 strokes on the golf course. I'm gonna ride him.
Oh yeah, bro. Well,
Marty, where do you call home? Are you in Minnesota?
I live in LA now.
Oh, he's an LA guy.
I'm married
his
to
wifey, dog. His wifey, she's locked in.
Tampa for a while.
Casey's locked in, bro.
So now,
I was in Tampa.
He's got Hollywood now. He's Hollywood.
Now that the rest of us, excluding Ben, live in Tampa, let's get a golf match on.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, Rick, bro. Hey, Rick, did you know Marty's sister and Joe, my wife, were roommates back in the day?
What?
Yeah. When Joe first moved to Los Angeles, when she went to become an actress, she lived with Marty's sister, bro. How crazy is that? So Joe and Marty have known each other for a minute, bro. They go way back.
This all sounds like we're gonna play golf and have a fishing tournament in the Bahamas. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, bro. I mean, dog. Let's be honest, bro. Any chance we get to have Marty fish on the show, we'll take him, bro.
Yeah.
Marty, you have been awesome, bro.
You
go put the kids out. Tell Stacy we said hi. Have Beckett keep working on that golf swing, cuz. We'll see you soon,
Hey,
baby.
Marty.
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, go Twins.
Marty, you too, man. Always.
Later, bro.
Take care, buddy. See you, Ben.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
bro.
Marty.
That might have been the most fun that we've had having guests on, dude. That ended up working out absolutely
Dude,
tremendous.
that was a blast.
I looked up on the Zoom, bro. We had like 6 dudes on there at one time. I'm like, bro, this is amazing.
So I was dealing with it. When Marty was coming on, we started telling stories about Justin. Producer Davis sent me a text and was like, only if you want. So I shot it to Justin. I said, come get on and talk shit while Marty's on here. We can all have a good time. So I had the grid up on my screen waiting for Justin to pop up. And I saw his big old mug pop up in there. I was like, ah.
Hey, by the way, man, let me say something about JV, bro. I've been in the box against him, and he is an intense guy when he's on the mound. But to see him off the field and to be laughing and having this much fun, bro, that's amazing, dude. Like, especially for, like, you guys, like the brotherly thing, bro. Like, I know him and Marty are really, really close. So for him to come on, bro, and rap with us for a little bit, bro, was awesome, man. If you get a chance to tell him thank you, bro, that was great, man.
I will. I'll tell him right after.
Well, here we are, boys. I mean, 6-1, bottom of the 7th inning. I mean, like, it's crazy. We haven't talked about the game a lot because I don't think there's been a whole lot going on, right? It's almost like Dodgers get up early, Charlie Morton comes out, and that's kind of the ball game. You know, I feel like Walker Buehler was kind of cruising along, and shoot, I mean, like right now, if Curtis can cover a couple more innings, it's going to save the Rays bullpen. But
it goes to you guys, Tino, Ben. Obviously, we've all talked about this. I don't know, we've never, how do you feel about it now? Where are you? I mean, I know that you felt like Tampa Bay possibly had to win, maybe not. They can withstand the hit. Like, where are you now?
I still feel that way. I mean, it's the postseason.
Yeah.
I mean, really, every game is like, okay, if they win or lose this game, they haven't lost yet. If the Rays lose this game, I mean, tomorrow you start over again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way the postseason is. In the first couple of innings there, the team who scores early gets the home runs like the Dodgers got today. I mean, it carries it over a little bit. And I still think this is going to go a long way here.
Sorry, Ben. I'd like to see a stat on teams that score first, how many games they win in the World Series, because it just kind of seems like these teams, more than anybody else, how tremendous their pitching staffs are. It's almost like, if you score early, it's almost like you feel like the game is over, right? I mean, what was the stat earlier in the game? 68% of the team that wins game 3 goes on to win the World Series.
Yeah.
Obviously there's still a lot of percentages out there for them to come back. But I think in a series like this, the first team that scores definitely has the advantage for sure.
Yeah, I even more so, I think for the Rays, I think when the Rays, I think it's a little different than they're able to get into that bullpen, and then when they have a lead going late into the game, I think it makes a huge difference. And to answer the question, I'm with Tino. I still think I still like the Rays. I think the one thing that they benefit from, and maybe if I had to change my prediction, I'd change it from 6 to 7 because I don't see the Rays winning 3 in a row against the Dodgers.
Yeah, right.
But I do think what has helped them in their 2 losses, assuming they go on to lose this game, is that the games haven't been close. Right. And they're not having to throw their guys out there 2-3 days in a row, not only for fatigue on the arm, but for purposes of the Dodgers not seeing them back to back to back days, which makes a huge difference. So I do think the one thing the Rays have going for them here again tonight is that they're not bringing their guys in out of the pen.
All right, so here's what I got for you, Ben. All that sound like
Sponsored by Visine, the Fox World Series Game 3 watch party. Sponsored by Visine.
Let me get this in before I can go. No.
Hey, you know what I'm just thinking right now? I was just thinking to myself.
The one moment, we always talk about momentum. The one momentum thing I think that happened tonight is that the Dodgers got base hits. It just wasn't banging home runs. Right, they held the guy up at third.
Yeah, but that's been them all postseason, bro. It's been like that all postseason.
But what the argument will always be, it wasn't against the Rays pitching staff. Well, it did happen against the Rays pitching staff. And you know what? The Rays are in trouble. No offense, just coming from our standpoint, Swish, I know you're on my side. Dodgers are walking away with this thing.
Bro, I mean, Walker Buehler, 10 punch outs, 3 hits, and 1 walk. That's it, bro. I mean, like, come on, that's dominant, bro. Like, and he went up against, I mean, technically one of the hottest postseason pitchers ever, right? One of the greatest postseason pitchers ever in Charlie Morton and Walker Buehler and them tight gray pants, bro. He ain't scared, dog. He ain't scared, bro. He's coming out of that thing. Walker Buehler's tight pants, trending on Twitter, baby. Let's get it.
We all watched game 1 together. The Dodgers came out just slamming the ball, home runs, and just walked right through the thing, right? So we're all going, oh, this is sweet. The Rays have no chance. They have no chance. They come out the next day and boom, they find a way to win the game.
You're 100%
Same
right.
thing tonight. I mean,
that's 100% what I was thinking. Rick, the first game said, this momentum, they're going to run away with this series. How's your prediction look now? The Rays come out in game 2 and win the game exactly like they like to win the game. They get to their pen, they win the game. Now the same thing. The Dodgers are banging balls around the yard and Rick's pulling out his eyewash going, this series is over. The momentum. Come on. Game 4 tomorrow night, same thing. Rays are going to come out and win.
That's a game for the coffee shop in the morning. And people there going, what do you think? The Rays have no chance. They have no chance. Well, let's see what happens tonight. Mm-hmm. And we all thought they got blown out, forced a sweep right there after game 1. But now tonight,
we did. You're right. We were like Dodgers in 5. You're right.
I'll give that to you, Ben. I'll give that to you. I love it. But listen, we predicted the Dodgers in 6. That hasn't changed. You won your game with Blake Snell. Look, he's the best guy you got. Now you're in trouble. Charlie Morton, as you said, was 7-0 in the playoffs. We all talk about momentum. Momentum comes with starting pitchers. You guys know this as players. Who's your starter tomorrow that makes you feel like, man, we got this game? You look at I think you agree the Dodgers are going to win this game tomorrow. When you see Reyes start on the game in the mound, like what is Tampa going to do? What do you have?
Well, by the way, but Rick, it could be a bullpen game, right? Like Urias comes out for 2 innings. Right? I mean, like it could be that. I mean,
or 6.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he's stretched out for 6, but I mean, like Hey, here's what I'm thinking too. I'm also watching this game, and I'm looking at the score at 6-1, right? And it's in the bottom of the 7th inning. I'm thinking you're going to bring in a mop-up guy, right? No, you brought in Blake Trinan, dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm down 5 runs, and I got to face this cat. I'm
with
like,
Kenley,
bro.
With Kenley warming up. But Rick, back to the point you just made. I agree with you, and I think you and I talked about it earlier. I think if there was one team that the Rays, I feel like had to win this game tonight. If the Dodgers had lost this game, you feel like they'd be in an okay position still. I feel like the Rays had to win this one. Not had to win. Like, obviously the series isn't over when
But it was definitely a pivotal game for sure.
But this one's huge for them because they don't know who's starting tomorrow. It's going to be a bullpen game for them, which they love their bullpen. But that takes 7, 8, 9 guys all being on their A game.
Everybody has to pitch well.
Everybody has to pitch well. And yeah, they have a bunch of guys down in there. But even the problem with the bullpen game for the Rays is you have to have a big game. If one guy has an off night, which most likely happens, that's 3 runs in an inning right there,
It's over. It's over.
To expose all those guys to that lineup, right? Which now let's just pretend we play game 7. The more you expose that bullpen to that lineup, the more chances they have in game 7 because they've seen it. They know what the shape of the ball looks like, where it has to start. To me, it just plays into the Rays' hands. And I know we're having fun with the eyewash or whatever. But I just feel like this plays into the Dodgers' hands. It really does. I mean,
who's having fun with the eyewash? I'm not. You're having fun with the eyewash.
I was like, one person's having some fun with that eyewash, bro.
Yeah, I'm
for
certainly
sure,
not.
man. I think it's just kind of one of those things where you're right, Tino. It's like we get so hopped up and we get so excited because the Dodgers look so good, just like they did game 1. Yeah. And you're like, that's over, man. Dodgers in 5. It's over. But then all of a sudden, like you're saying, the Rays come, and all of a sudden, if they pop, 2, 3 runs, and they'll be the home team tomorrow. So they pop, they go 1, 2, 3 in the first. All of a sudden, they score 2 in the bottom half. Then all of a sudden, we're like, wow, bro, all that stuff we were talking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Things can change so quick. It's crazy because it's like game 1, we saw the Dodgers play unbelievable. Yeah. Game 2, where were they? We saw the Rays play awesome. Game 3, where are the Rays? You know what I mean? It's just like everything just kind of switching back and forth. Like, like our guy Frank Thomas said, it's like a tennis match, bro. It's a forehand and then a backhand. You know what I mean?
Thinking back to the Braves and Dodgers series, man, Braves are, smoking, they're feeling good. All of a sudden, the Dodgers come out in game 3 and drop a 11 spot, in game 1. I mean,
what is it? The first inning, right?
First inning.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, then all of a sudden, there's a little momentum there, and then sure enough, here they are in the World Series. I mean, that's the postseason, man. The Dodgers know too. We all know that it's you can be up 2-1, up 3-1, whatever. The hardest game to win is the 4th game. They even get there, no matter what. And they both teams feel like they're getting closer and closer. Obviously, if the Dodgers win tonight, they're going to feel a lot more confident going back to the bubble tonight. Mm-hmm. Then it all comes down to the game tomorrow. But I think the thing about the Rays, though, is they do have a chance. But it seems to me when I'm watching these games here, I still think they got a chance to make it go deep here. When the Rays fall behind, like they have been, like games 1 and tonight, they start. I know Walker Buehler's an outstanding pitcher, one of the best. They start pressing a little bit. I mean, you saw Rosarima taking fastballs down the middle. They just start thinking and just start freezing up a little bit. Whereas when the Rays take the lead, they get a couple runs early, like they did in game 2. They find momentum there. And they just take off and have a better offense.
Takes all that stress off. Takes that stress off.
Yeah. So the key is the Rays scoring first and early and getting a couple runs and getting momentum going. Then it could be a long game, whatever it may be. It might be 5-4, 6-5. Yeah. The Rays have more confidence in, but it seems like when I'm watching them from game 1 and today that they're pressing a little bit with the at-bats as the game has gone on since they fell behind.
Well, by the way, you were spot on with that with the Rosarina, bro. Like, every first pitch in the ALCS, he was hacking. He was hacking, right?
Homer.
Like he was on the fastball big time. Now, I think he's got a little something back in here. Now, maybe that says a little bit about the fact that he's a rookie. Right? Like we don these guys superstars so fast, right? He has bro, let's be honest, bro. Like Derek, he's about to break the record for most hits set by Derek Jeter, right? By a rookie. So at the end of the day, yes, is he an all-star moving forward right now? No doubt about it. But a lot of things can change moving forward, right? You can be a hero one night and a GOAT the next. So it just, it's just kind of like one of those situations where it's like he needs to continually keep that going, right? Don't let the narrative stop. Don't let all don't let the buzz go away. Because right now, everybody's saying, you know, Randy Arozarena, right, is the greatest. Not he can break dance, bro, like he's awesome, right? But so far this World Series, he's still trying to find his groove a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight, you know, he's probably gonna have one more bat later here tonight. I want to see how well he does in that at bat, because that can transfer over into the game tomorrow. You know, Tino, bro, it's like one hit can get you right back into the groove of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Randy seems like he needs that one good hit. He had one last night or the night game 2, you know, and he's so excited, right? He got his first hit of the series.
Yeah, the dribbler, the infield hit.
Yeah, the infield hit, right? So I want to see him in this next at bat. Moving forward, I'm just kind of looking at that for tomorrow's game.
Right.
On how good and how good he looks in the last at bat.
Yeah.
The one thing I will tell you, go ahead, Tino, sorry.
Go ahead.
The one thing that Tony La Russa, Dave Duncan, where I felt like we're the best at, which doesn't really happen anymore sometimes when I watch games, is we would pitch around guys. So let's say we were facing the Chicago Cubs, right? Like, listen, Sammy Sosa will not beat us. We don't
exactly
on base. If the bases are loaded, we will walk him. You will walk him, right?
Right.
Walk him with 4. It was, hey, throw a ball 6 inches outside, then throw a curveball under the zone, throw 4 pitches around the zone. Because what happens is those guys get so used to being the guy that when you start doing that, all of a sudden, if they're not smart enough, they'll start chasing those bad pitches, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden, they put themselves in a slump because they want to drive in runs. They don't know how to just be patient. And you can put them into a slump. And that's one of the greatest things I think I ever learned from Tony and Dave Duncan was how to pitch around a guy and then put him in the slump moving forward.
Intentionally, Tony. If Tony wanted to walk guys, this is the way he was. He's a smart guy. And Duncan, he said, Rick, he would go to the mound and say, "Hey, don't throw him a strike." He would rather do that to them than put them on base with a pitch out 4-ball or whatever. Put them on base. He hated doing that because Tony always felt like he's gonna disrespect the guy on deck, and he's gonna be fired up to get a hit.
Oh yeah, because if you were the guy on deck, you were like, "Oh hell no, you're not doing that to me, bro. You're not putting me in that spot." You know.
Very cautious of that, and when you're on deck there. The guy in front, though, if Sosa's up, it's 4 sliders in the dirt. I mean, not even close. If he swings great. But if not, Tony wants the next guy coming up. That's the guy he wants to have at the plate. Yeah. And he did not want to disrespect him and fire him up, so he would never, very rarely, put him on base 4 balls.
I would like to see how many balls that Arozarena swung out of the zone in the ALCS compared to only 3 games so far in the World Series.
I bet you it's more. I bet you it's more in the 3 games already than it was in the.
Ben, you are so right, bro, because it seemed like he was so laser locked into the zone and everything he swung at was in the strike zone. But it seems like now the Dodgers are doing exactly what you guys are talking about, saying like, hey, we're going to throw a little wrinkle here, but I'm not trying to hit that box. I'm trying to get everything outside of the box. There was a lot of talk tonight about Bill Miller being behind the plate tonight and how he had the biggest strike zone in the league. Right? Like around the corners, Bill Miller was, he giving you those couple inches on the outside corner, right? So you would think that would be kind of one of those things. But for Arozarena, he's got to get the ball back in the zone, right? Exactly. Maybe instead of thinking about going launch mode, just think about getting a little base hit, right? Yeah. Just smoothing that swing out, getting that solid hit, because you know that solid hit then turns into a double tomorrow, first AB, and then maybe a paya, you know?
Yeah. One thing you brought up tonight that I thought was fantastic. And this is hard to do, but it can happen. So he goes up there, he starts getting pitched around, right? So now he almost goes into take mode. Oh, they're not pitching to me. There's a base open. What's the pitcher do? Throws a fastball right down the middle.
Down the middle.
Now he just throws balls around the zone on purpose because all of a sudden Randy's like, wait a second. You're pitching to me, right? And he starts, he wants that hit. He wants to drive that guy in. And he can't help himself. And then you put a guy in a slump. You ruin him for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we got a quick throwback photo to toss it to here. Let's see what we got.
We all get nervous about this one, bro.
We get so nervous. Whoa.
Who is this? Who is that? Who is that, bro? Who is that? Is that me, dog?
That's you.
I wish that was my body, bro. I wish I looked like that, dog. Maybe back in high school, dog. You know what I'm saying? But your boy loves his food these days, bro. For real.
Swish. I could have gone without seeing that, man.
Come on, bro. Hey, bro, you should see me putting on that thong, bro. And hey, after those 2 hits, bro, you
was it right there.
Like, hell yeah, that's my teammate right there, bro. You know, I think it's just kind of one of those things, bro. For me, when at that time, bro, I'm so desperate, right? It's just like, all of a sudden the games are going down and you're not producing. And, you know, we talked about it, you know, being able to have confidence. And for myself, my confidence was just gone. And then all of a sudden, bro, I donned this golden thong underneath my 2 sliders, bro. And I'm thinking to myself, like, huh, bro, I feel amazing, bro. Like, I'm going to make this happen, dude, you know? And my confidence went up. And that's kind of one of those things where it's just kind of like, you know, I mean, Ian Happ said it, you know, JV Verlander said it, right? We even heard it from Marty Fish. Like, you got to have confidence in what you're doing. Because if you go up there with no confidence at all, you've already lost the battle before you stepped on the field.
So I think the greatest question that we can ask, talk about for everybody watching, right? What comes first, confidence or success?
Right.
I would say confidence.
Right? That's right.
Well, yeah, back and forth, right? Maybe people have to have success to have confidence, right? Or maybe people have to have confidence to have success.
Or do you have to have confidence? Exactly.
I think for me, I had to have confidence to have success, right? Because, and then obviously with success, obviously boost your confidence.
Right.
But I definitely think you have to have that confidence going into it. I mean, bro, come on, look at me, dude. I was swaggy, bro. Like, that was half my battle. Because I don't think my skill set was as good as most people, but my overall mindset, I think, was the reason why I stayed in the league for as long as I did.
I think your skill set was fantastic, Swish. Let's be honest.
Rick, thanks, buddy. You're my guy, bro. You're my guy.
How many times did you hit a home run from both sides of the plate in the same game?
14.
Okay, well, then you can't say my skill set was.
Come on, Swish.
I'm just saying, man, you know, at the end of the day, it's like you have to have something that is different than everybody else, right? Because you as an individual, right? Rick, Ben, you know, Tino, when he comes back, every person as an individual is special as their own, right? JV said it. You have to find the things that work best for you, not for somebody else, right? Don't try to be nobody else. Try to be yourself. Give yourself the best opportunity to be successful. And you know what that's all about? Knowing who you are. Knowing the things you're good at and knowing the things you're bad at. That's why you see a guy like Charlie Morton, in my opinion, is better now than he was in his mid-20s, right? Because he knows who he is right now. He knows what he's capable of doing. Just like all these guys. Walker Buehler, he's growing up. Clayton Kershaw, you know who you are. It's easier to go about that when you know exactly what your DNA is and you know what makes you tick.
Yeah. It's also easier to go about, like you think about baseball, and it's unique in the fact that we play every single day. And when it's going bad, it's going really bad. And I think when we talk, everybody we've talked to, the mental aspect of the game comes up. And you think about it with baseball, if I go 0 for 4, I'm going home and I'm going to think about it. If I go 0 for 4 again, I'm going home and it's starting to affect me mentally. It's starting to affect my sleep. It's starting to affect my life. When I come back to the yard the next day and I go 4 for 4, you know what I'm doing when I hit the bed that night? I'm sleeping great. My life is great. And it's there, you know, it's more than just the baseball field. It carries over into your everyday life.
That's the thing, man. Sorry, bro. I mean, not. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think that you've been really good. I think that you've learned the mental game over time. I think that you were taught to it by your father because your father played the game as well. And I want to speak to the kids that are a little bit younger, right? So let's say we talked about what comes first, confidence or success. You said confidence comes first. I'm talking to the kids that are in the teenage years or even before that, like travel ball. We're just starting here. What does that mean, right? So like, because everybody can't start with success. Everybody's not that.
Right, totally. Yep.
But then how do you put, you know what I mean, from a mental aspect, maybe 1 or 2 points if you've learned one that you like over time. Yeah. What has helped you when it wasn't going good?
Big time, bro. And only because right now, I mean, I'm doing the same thing as you are, right? I mean, I'm in the amateur game right now. You know, I mean, I'm working with my company, Prospect Dugout, and that's all we work with is high school kids, you know. And for myself, I started mentoring, you know, a couple college kids as well. Started working with these elementary school kids, bro. And that's the biggest question I get on a daily basis, Rick. How do you create confidence, right? Like, how do you give somebody confidence that doesn't have confidence? And so, bro, I've been racking my brain over this because confidence has always been in my DNA. I've always had confidence. And for myself, it's easy to gain that confidence. So how do I give the confidence that I have to somebody that doesn't have that mentality, right? And here, I came up with a few things, right? And this is kind of like the tips of the trade, right? If you're not confident in what you're doing, educate yourself. Read, ask questions, right? Watch things. Watch people that are better than you. And the other thing that I came to grips with was how to create confidence. Be the hardest worker in the room, right? If you educate yourself and you work harder than everybody else, you will start to notice that your skills will start to surpass other people. You know why? Because it means more to you. Find a meaning for you, right? Find a goal for you. I also tell my young kids to take early wins, right? I actually appreciate the fact when young kids struggle and young kids go through tough times. Because, by the way, you learn nothing about yourself when you're kicking ass. Dude. When you're winning all the time, you learn nothing about yourself. When you struggle, that's when you learn the most about yourself. That's when you find out exactly who you are. When you get knocked down, are you going to get back up or not? So for myself, I've always told my kids, work hard, bro. Make it mean something to you and educate yourself. Because not everybody's going to have confidence. But I definitely and truly believe this at the bottom of my heart. You can create confidence. You can create confidence in anything you're doing. Educate yourself. Know more than other people about what you're doing. Make sure it means something to you and put that hard work in it. I promise you, at the end of the day, that confidence will start to work on this trajectory rather than this trajectory.
Now, I want to reiterate that. So
that was just my motivational side pumping it up.
That was
great. You went deep, but that was great. Doesn't matter. So one thing I will say that I try, just to keep it simple, that I try to teach too, because I teach the same thing, is it's not what happens to you, it's how we respond to it, right? Who's going to rise tomorrow? How do I decide how I'm going to respond to stuff? Anyway, I thought that was fantastic. I thought the education part that you talked about was fantastic. If you don't know, try to learn. Ben,
ask questions. Don't be scared to, confront people on how they're doing what they're doing, bro. For me, when I was in the locker room, I would go straight to the Hall of Famers, right? The Frank Thomases, the Mike Piazzas, the Derek Jeters, the A-Rods, the Posadas, even Mariano Rivera, bro. I'm not a pitcher, but I ask him questions. You know why? Because he's better than me at something. And if I want to get better, I have to learn from those that are better than me.
Right. How did he get better? One thing I know I like to teach, and I'll say this to everybody watching, especially for young kids, it's not to me, it's the courage to try. It's the courage to try is what I respect. I don't care if you go out there and you swing and miss the ball, or if you're trying to field the ground ball and you bobble that. It's the courage to go out there and take the ground ball, or the courage to go out there and try to take the at-bat, knowing you probably might not be successful. Right. To me, that I hold more respect to that than I do anything else. It's the courage to go out there and try.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, even for somebody like you, Ben, I mean, you don't have to be in the game for 20 years to understand exactly, how to be confident in life, right? Because even for everybody's going to get out of the game at some point. It's all about how long you can keep that jersey on. Some may take the jersey off earlier than others. So even for now, in your life, moving forward, how have you taken all those things and that confidence you've gained in baseball to take it into your everyday life?
Yeah, I think baseball has a unique ability to teach you life lessons because it's one of the only sports, if not the only sport, where you fail so much more than you succeed. If I fail 7 out of 10 times, I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm the best to do it in my sport. And I think there's so many life lessons in there that I ended up learning in pro ball because, every level leading up to that, in Little League, I was a good Little League player. And in high school, I was good in high school. In college, I was good in college. Then you get to pro ball and you start to get your first taste of real failure.
Right.
You're not going to hit over 300 every year. You're going to have years where you hit around 200. And, you're failing so much, it forces you to evaluate your life and to learn, like you said. And what I was doing when I was going through my hardest slumps was talking to guys, like you said, talking to guys that were better than me. And, I had the ability to be able to talk to guys like Miguel Cabrera and guys like that. But even for kids or for guys that don't, when I was in my regular season, I obviously wasn't talking to those guys. And what I would do is just go online and just look for guys that are talking about what we're talking about that just did it better than I did and talked about, when I was slumping, this is what I did. Or when I was going well, this is what I was doing. And the whole time you were talking, Swish, I think my whole philosophy was just talking to guys that are better than I am. And I think
yes,
you have to be able to take your ego out of it and think there are people, no matter how good I am, that are going to be better than me.
Oh,
And
bro, there's always somebody bigger, stronger, better looking, more money, nicer car, bigger house, right? So if you're always comparing yourself to those people, you're always going to be working up the ladder, right? You're never going to get to that point where you feel like you ever accomplished it. Yeah, bro, I completely understand that, bro. Even for myself, it's like, you know, I wanted to compare myself to all sorts of people. And then when I actually started comparing myself to me, and I was like, bro, do inward looking. Don't look out so much. Look on the inside of what you're doing, because it's like, oh man, you know, I'm going through a slump, right? Bro, I went 0 for 28, bro, in the show, right? 0 for 28 in a row, 28 at bats in a row. It was miserable, the whole nine. But for me, it was just kind of like I started looking out. You know, I started getting upset at umpires because they weren't calling strikes. I started getting mad at the position players because they're making diving plays and the whole nine. You know when things turned around for me, bro? When I started looking on the inside, and I was like, you know what? I can do better. I can prepare better. I can get myself ready better. I can know the starting pitcher better. And that's exactly what happened. I started getting into the room. I started getting in the video room. I started watching all sorts of video. And I got myself to the point where I felt so confident against that starting pitcher that night that there was no way that I was going to be unsuccessful. And guess what, bro? I got a base hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got off the schneid, got a base hit, and then that snowballs into the positivity. And again, I want to jump back to that because when young people never fail, and a lot of first rounders never fail. Listen, these guys come up, they're the best player on their little league team, junior high, high school, travel team, right? Perfect game, All-American, the whole nine. And then all of a sudden you get into pro ball, and guess what happens? Everybody's a perfect game all-star. Everybody's an All-American, right? Like everybody's got the chains, right? And the wristbands and the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment in time right there, that's why I feel like for me, when I talk to my kids, you got to know who you are. Because if you know who you are and you're solid in who you are as a human being and as a baseball player, all that stuff just slides over you, bro. You're able to deal with adversity better because young kids need to fail because you need to be able to deal with adversity to be able to be successful in life. Nobody ever did it on their own. And another thing to add to all that, Rick, have a village, man. Get your village around you because nobody ever was successful doing it on their own. It always helped. They always got help from somebody. And you know, I got help just like you did, Rick, Ben as well. Every one of these dudes on the field tonight playing in this World Series has gotten help along the way. It is also your job as where we are in these phases of our life to be able to give back. Give that knowledge back to those young kids so they can go on and do the things that they want to accomplish.
No doubt. No doubt. Man, I think you nailed that. That was fantastic.
Oh, bro, I'm in the process of writing my motivational speech, dog. I'm on one right now, bro. I'm on one.
I didn't have it, but those a lot of things that are really important. You know what I mean? I mean, you touched on things about having to figure them out, and when you don't have, you know, sometimes people don't have support groups. So then, what do they do when you talk about confidence and success? And people don't have success first. It's about that mindset of feeling like you can, even if you can't. But that's, I think, one thing that I want to touch on. What you did is why I always try to preach, man. That's why I try to say too, it's the courage to try, right? So if you can just have the courage, go out there and try it. Doesn't matter if you're successful or not. We'll figure it out after that.
Hey, you know what me and my girl started doing. So I got a 7-year-old Emmy and my youngest one, Sailor's 4. And Ben, you don't have any kids right now, do you?
No.
Hey, one day you will, bro. And I'm telling you, dog. But for my little girls, they are the pickiest eaters ever. The only thing they want for dinner is chicken nuggets, bro. Like that's the only thing they want to eat. And I'm like, hey, we got to switch it up from time to time. So this goes along the lines of what Rick was saying a little bit ago. We started doing these food challenges. Yeah. Right? We would order something off the menu at dinner or wherever that we've never eaten before, right? And we started off with octopus, bro. If you ever had octopus, it's like chewing on a bunch of rubber bands, bro. But at the end of the day, we tried it, right? And then after that, at least we know we don't like it moving forward. But if we never try it, how the hell are you going to know if you like it or you don't? You know what I'm saying? And I think that goes for sports as well. Don't just play one sport. How do you know what you're going to be good at? You might be a good baseball player, but you might be an excellent soccer player, or you might be a phenomenal swimmer, right? Don't cut yourself short. Don't give yourself only one sport, because at the end of the day, bro, everybody wants a well-rounded athlete. And you know how you become a well-rounded athlete? By playing multiple sports.
Yeah, 100%. And I think playing multiple sports just gives you that ability to, and I think a problem in this day and age is so many people aren't, so many people are struggling. Who we got in here right now?
Oh, bro, he's finally up in the house right now.
I can see your reaction.
One of my best buddies on the planet, ladies and gentlemen, the lead singer of Good Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my homie, Joel Madden.
There we go. I had to unmute, Zoom life. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got, baby?
Guess where I'm at, Nick?
Where you at?
I am on a tour bus driving across America.
Hey, is Benj with you, bro? Is Benj with you?
Benj is at home right now. We're actually headed out to Arizona right now.
Oh, are you? Well, for everybody that don't know, Benji and Joel, twin brothers, right? Obviously, lead singer, lead guitarist of the band Good Charlotte, and everybody remembers Good Charlotte. Joel, my buddy Ben's up here, bro. He's phenomenal, bro. We've had an awesome time so far. Obviously, I think everybody needs to know how big of a Dodger fan you and your son Sparrow are right now. What are you guys thinking about this game right now?
I mean, we're loving it because obviously the last game was a great game. It's really hard to beat the Dodgers, but when they break out and they get ahead, it's really hard to catch up with them. So we're loving this game. We feel really good about this game tonight.
Right, when you started off the World Series, right, when the Dodgers finally made it, bro, down 3-1 to the Atlanta Braves, they finally get to the World Series, right? Third time in 4 years, bro. I don't have to tell you that. But for right now, it feels like there's something different about the Los Angeles Dodgers. It could be number 5-0 leading off for the Dodgers, but for somebody that watches them religiously and obviously tries to go to as many games as he can, obviously this year's a little different than most, what is something that you see in this year's Dodger team that you haven't seen in the past?
Well, obviously, we love having Mookie Betts on the Dodgers, but it's beyond just that. I think the team itself is really a team. I think that losing, these games we've lost in the past postseasons that we've had, I think the team is humble. I think they know how hard it is to win in these games. And I think that they're just playing like a team, and I think they love playing together. I think this year in LA is special, obviously, for LA sports. We had a big loss with losing Kobe, and I think that it feels like it's a year where we all want LA sports to win. And I don't know, man, it just feels different this year. It feels special. It feels like everyone's playing for more than just the win.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ben, you can jump in here whenever you want, but I feel like, this being kind of that crazy 2020 COVID season, and there's been so many people that I think around town and around the country that feel like there should be an asterisk next to this, championship trophy. And for me, bro, I think they're absolutely crazy. I think this is kind of one of those unbelievable seasons that players have had to sacrifice so much to give us live sports, bro. And for somebody that loves baseball as much as you do, for them to even have this season right now, that just got to mean the world to you. Also, hey, bro, you need to tell us, if you can hear me, you need to tell us about your amazing baseball card collection, because I know Sparrow loves him some baseball cards, bro. And I know that you have done everything you can to try and help him build that up.
Hey, my son is my number one.
He's a man too, bro. He's such a good dude.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And we love Uncle Nick, but we've been collecting baseball cards now for a few years, and listen, baseball cards is exploding right now. But we got into it, 3-4 years ago when Sparrow really caught the bug and really started going hard with baseball.
Yeah.
But our baseball card collection's sick. I'm not gonna lie, it is sick.
It is sick, bro. I seen it, bro. I seen it.
We're way up.
I seen you get that new Fernando Tatis Jr. rookie card too, cuz I seen that one in the case. I seen that.
Hey, that we just hit that the other day. We opened up a 2019 Luminaries, and it was a hit. It was great.
Oh, bro, you don't get those cards in there very often, right?
No, that's a good. And Tatis Tatis is on fire, so that's a great card now. But we love him, so he's one of our favorite players, and he was last year too. So we have a lot of Tatis rookies. That's one of our favorites.
How old's your boy?
Sparrow's 11.
That's awesome. Hey, so I got a question for you, and in terms of this game, so it's 6-1 Dodgers right now, and they've been coasting this entire game. But you just see out in the bullpen that they got Kenley Jansen warming up. What are you as like? How do you feel about Kenley? If he was throwing incredible right now, I don't know if he'd be coming in this 6-1 ball game. It's almost like they're trying to work his confidence back in. And try and build some confidence up with him. Would you agree with that?
Maybe. I think that's probably one way of looking at it. I think that if you love the Dodgers, Kenley Jansen is an LA favorite. And I think that aside from, as long as he's been with the team, I think that the team loves him, and maybe they're trying to build his confidence up, or maybe they just really believe in him, and they, you never know which game is going to happen, right? You never know. Obviously, we would like the lead, but we all love Kenley. We're LA fans, love Kenley. So yeah. I love to see Kenley every time he goes in. And I hope he goes in and crushes. I also love. You know who else I love? I love Joe Kelly. I love him on the Dodgers. I love Joe Kelly on the Dodgers. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And I like the Dodgers bullpen. I don't think that we have a great. We have great pitchers, but they have to work hard, and obviously we have really, really great hitting too. So that helps. But I love the pitchers on the Dodgers this year.
Well, we've been kind of on this little motivational kick kind of tonight. We've been trying to kind of fill the air and kind of talk about some certain things. Now, listen, we had Justin Verlander on earlier, future Hall of Famer. We had Marty Fish, number 7, world-ranked tennis player. Right, for myself, Rick Ankiel, Tino Martinez, and now we've got a successful rock star on the show. And the one thing that we've been talking about this entire time is confidence, and how huge confidence is in somebody's life. I mean, you work with Kenyon just like I did there for a while, and to be able to have somebody in your life that can kind of give you a blueprint of how to be successful in life. I guess my question is this: how big has confidence been in your life, especially as being, when Good Charlotte first hit the stage, right? Compared to now you guys have your family. Now you guys are helping other bands achieve the things that they want to do, right? Like, how has that confidence really taken over for you in your life?
I mean, you always talk about it, Nick, and you inspire me. Confidence is everything, but it's not that inflation, right? It's the ability to love yourself. It's the ability to believe in yourself and to be the best version of yourself. We don't get to be anyone else. We only get to be ourselves. So we have to try our best to make the best of what we got, and we have to use what we have to the best of our ability. And I think ultimately there's a lot of other things at play. There's spirituality, there's all that stuff. But for me, I feel like I was only given myself to be. I don't get to choose to be anyone else. So I made the most of my situation. I ended up, I've ended up over the last 20 some years being able to turn things into success and find the way to find the success in every situation. And maybe when things don't work out for us, or when we're having a hard time, life's trying to teach us something. And that's what I always tell young guys that are coming up and trying to make it, whether it's with sports or in music or in business. There is no golden ticket to the success, right? You have to do the work. You have to show up every day, and you have to take the losses and learn from them, and then be a good winner when you do win. You want people to be happy for you when you win, and and learning how to do that, and learning how to be the best version of yourself is a lifelong process. I love watching. And sorry if it's loud here, guys. We're on the road, actually.
No big deal, bro. You're good.
I watch your videos, Nick, and I get a lot out of them, even though I'm not playing baseball. And Sparrow plays baseball, and he's on his journey, and he takes it seriously. So I support him. I tell people, like, a good coach changes your life, right? Like, you think about there isn't any bad subjects. There's only really bad teachers, right? Like, people don't enjoy a subject usually because someone didn't take the time to help them learn it the way they need to learn it or whatever. But coaches change people's lives. So if you take the time to coach someone when you're good at something and give back and help someone else achieve, we work with a lot of bands. That's what I do my day job now is coaching.
Yeah, right.
Coaching artists, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And you gotta try your best to be generous and give them everything you can to help them succeed. But helping people find their confidence is really just about helping them like themselves and want to be more themselves, you know, not less themselves. So
Yeah.
I think that applies in sports. I think that applies in obviously like music and arts and stuff like that. But I think across the board, and you know, we're in this crazy year. You guys mentioned, I just want people to love each other and to love
Right?
themselves.
Totally,
you know?
right? Yeah, but you know, Joel, it's a lot easier to love others when you can love yourself, right? And that's kind of the
always,
first step.
always.
100%, especially right now in the world.
And Nick, you're like, listen, we get deep when we talk, but this is how we like to, when we hang with our boys and when we are all hanging out. I like it when we're all talking about, you know, we're talking about how we feel, and we're talking about how to be better versions of ourselves. Like, that's how we all get better. It's also what my dad used to say is water seeks its own level. Thinking about who we hang out with. Are they filling our head with encouragement? Are they rooting for us, or are they putting us down? Like, it is always about how you spend your time, living well, spending it well. And even as something as simple as watching a baseball game can end up being a really rich experience where you take something away from it.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Ben.
Not to change the subject, because I you know, that's incredible, I think. But, you know, as we're watching the bottom of the ninth here and Jansen throwing, and you mentioned you really like Kenley Jansen, who would you say, as a, you know, growing up a huge Dodger fan, who would you say some of your favorite Dodgers players?
Oh, bro, he was a Baltimore Oriole fan growing up, kid.
No, but I was a Dodger fan too. So when we were growing up, the reason I became a Dodger fan was we all picked a National League team that we could root for, because back then the leagues were split, so they didn't play each other. And so I liked the Dodgers, Bench liked the Giants, so we were against each other for real.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a rivalry back in the day.
Yeah, and then Josh liked the Athletics because he liked, Jose Canseco, Ricky Henderson. So we all liked West Coast teams because we always dreamed of going to California. We never really got to when we were kids. So I was a Dodger fan growing up. Now, my favorite Dodgers, you're going to laugh at me, but one of my favorite baseball players of all time was Darryl Strawberry. I love Darryl Strawberry.
Oh, yeah.
He was my hero when I was a kid. And then I love Oral Hershiser, you know, great pitcher. Those were my two favorites, those guys. And then the Orioles were my team, and they'll always be the heartbeat of my baseball soul.
Of course.
You know, Cal Ripken. I mean, that was it. So.
Well, Joel, bro, hey, we're coming down to the last out of the game, bro. I mean, bro, if I could give you a big hug and a kiss right now, I would, man. Like, it's been so long. I haven't been able to see you other than FaceTime and the whole nine. I can't thank you enough for calling in, bro. I know you're crazy busy, and I want to make sure you give some love to your better half, Nicole Richie, as well as Kate as well. Hey, we don't want to leave out your daughter too, bro. She's absolutely
never leave her
amazing,
out.
Man.
Yes,
make sure you tell everybody I said hello, my man, and we will see you soon.
Hey, I love you. I love you.
I love you, brother. I'll talk to you soon, baby.
All right, peace, guys.
All right, man. Peace, baby. Dude, isn't it amazing, bro? You meet all these different people in life, and you never know where they come from or what they think, right? Like, you know, when you look at somebody like Joel, you're like, man, he's a rock star. He's got tattoos all over the place. You don't know he's a motivational speaker, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what he has on the inside. And I think that's the best thing about being able to bring different types of people on this show and give different perspectives of everything, right? We've had Hall of Fame baseball, right? We got Tony La Russa coming on tomorrow. I mean, like, come on, bro. Like, to be able to pick these guys' brains is absolutely amazing. But let's finish this thing off right now. I mean, obviously, you know, Kenley looks great right now. I mean, I know he's working on stuff. He got a 5-run lead. But at the end of the day, man, I'm looking at that velocity. I'm looking to see if I can see some 92s and some 93s. Because when he can get that velo up there, that's when his stuff plays a little better.
You know what I'm looking at here, Swish, and you and I talked about this a little while ago. Randy Rosarina here, this is a big at-bat for him. Obviously, this game is over. We got a 3-2 count here. Kenley's out there working on some stuff, trying to gain some confidence. He's not the only one in this at-bat trying to gain some confidence.
Exactly.
And Randy Rosarina is a huge part of their lineup, the biggest part of their lineup coming into this series. And this is a huge at-bat. Even a walk here would
Right.
really help gain some confidence for him. And he just went yard.
And yeah, there you go. Hi-ya, right? Like
I just
that's
almost
it.
knocked something over. I just almost
Bro,
knocked
it's like we hit this thing like right
That's
on the
huge.
head. It's like it's so crucial, right? Because this at bat right now that just happened transfers over to tomorrow.
Huge. That right there is huge. And we talked about it a couple innings ago after his last at bat. If he can do something well in his last at bat, it can carry over. It can get him heated up. He's going to go back to the little bubble tonight, and he's going to sleep fantastic knowing he just hit a ball 200 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but then again, that's that thing right there. I mean, like, Jensen missed that ball middle, right? It was 93 miles an hour, but he missed middle. And by the way, like, hey, big league players want to eat too, right? Pitchers want to eat, hey, hitters want to eat. So I think right now, I mean, that at bat right there for me is huge. And not only that, look at his teammates, bro. Look at all his teammates jumping up on the steps, pumped up for him. Like, that's huge moving forward. Now it's like, you think that the Dodgers have this huge advantage and they have this huge momentum, but I'm not quite sure that's the case, bro. I think the Rays took this thing on the chin right now. Most home runs in a postseason.
Wow, look at that.
I mean, is that Barry Bonds, Carlos Beltran, and Nelson Cruz? Oh,
and Randy Arozarena.
And Randy Rice-A-Roni, baby, coming at you, dog.
Yeah, dude,
man.
that at bat is huge for both of them. You know, like Kenley's whole thing in these playoffs has been his confidence and Dave Roberts' confidence in him. He just lost a little bit of confidence coming in that next game. He's not going to be as confident as he would be if he just punched him out right there. And Arozarena is a huge part of their lineup offensively. He is coming into this series. He was their entire offense basically.
Oh, yeah, bro. I think he just set the rookie record for most hits in a postseason as well. And like you're saying, I mean, the game's over right there, right after.
Another laser though. Yeah,
another laser. G-man, right on it. And I think in general that this is going to transfer over tomorrow, right? Like I feel like, everyone's like, no, they won 6-2. They won that game so convincingly, but they also won game 1 convincingly too. And the Rays came back. Right, the Rays are an extremely resilient team, and and that's the deal. So at the end of the day, bro, like Ben, homie, guess who's still sitting in this room, dog? Me and you, player.
Let's do it,
Getting
baby.
that thing in there. Let's go, brother. Hey, everybody that's watching, man, thank you so much for tuning in. Game 3, Fox's World Series watch party. I'm Nick Swisher. I got my boy Ben Verlander right next to me, man. This has been absolutely awesome. We've had some amazing guests today. Marty Fish, a surprise visit from Justin Verlander, right? Joel Madden pops on. Ian Happ was in the building tonight. And tomorrow, I think the lineup might even be better. Starting off with Tony La Russa, I think he's coming in the first or the second inning. And then from there, we're kind of going to roll it in, man. So for everybody that's watching, everybody that's watching, for me and my homie Ben, thank you so much for being here. Fox World Series watch party game 3 is over. Los Angeles Dodgers win 6-2, take a 2-1 lead in the series. We will see you back here tomorrow night, baby. Same time, same place.